What?
Alright, let's begin.
Yeah.
Alright, let's go to the full party RP screen. Yeah, that's the one. Alright, so last session
What?
on the
Alright,
Mokhul
let's
and
begin.
Alright, let's go to the full party RP screen. Yeah, that's the one. Alright, so last session
What?
on the
Alright,
Mokhul
let's
and
begin.
Sorry, I had like reverberations going on for a second on Discord. Anyway, last session on the Mokhul Empire, we introduced Lantix and his friend Wiltix as they returned home from a venture of some sorts. And Wiltix said to Lantix that good luck on your ventures, on everything that you've got planned. But if you do find any magical artifacts in that place, he would be willing to take them off of your hand. And Lantix returned back to the university and did a bit of his own, basically, investigations. And as he returned, I think did you speak to Sashida?
No, she was busy.
She was busy. That was the one. Said that she would get in
Busy.
contact with you when she could. Meanwhile, the investigations on the weird mystery of the warehouse robberies continued, with Grildar and Makra going about their business. But Elijah got himself into a bit of trouble when he tried to attack Haroth and Omar in their tavern room, drugging them. Failed because one of them turned ethereal and fell through the floor, and the other one turned invisible and ran away. And by the way, you guys, there's a GIF. I need to create a GIF of you guys of that moment, because on the actual video, you all look up at the screen at the same time like this. You go, the moment Elijah goes, I'll shoot him with a crossbow, everyone goes, like as if like he's absolutely shocked by it. And I love that Curtis was about 3 seconds late. He just went. But after that, and for the failed attempt, Elijah met back up with the group. Well, I believe we had a rest in the morning. Makra did some role-playing with his family, and then after that you met up. And I can't actually recall what you guys did. I think Elijah said he had some clues for you, and that you should come with him to Lady Obsidian's tavern.
Yeah, I was trying his hardest to convince us that she was going to be evil instantly and to try and help us assassinate her.
Yeah,
but none of us were really buying it.
He took you to Bastet's Blade, where he insulted Lady Obsidian in her own office. Downstairs, Makra just smacked Bruce, the Minotaur bouncer, cleanly in the chest, and he was like, alright mate, I've had enough, no thanks. Upstairs, Elijah was hit with a petrifying blast from Lady Obsidian, who turned out to be a Gorgon. And he slowly petrified while the rest of you were told to get the fuck out of her establishment. After that, we'll start with Makra and Grildar. They went to Eros's house, where he was very kind of like nervous about Elijah being killed, and was all kind of like, where is his body? And you guys refused to tell him until he gave you money. You didn't. Also, he told you that a half-orc had been arrested at the warehouse because the purple tree in the middle of the room turned out to be a person, and after 24 hours had reverted back to her half-orcish form, and she was now currently being held in the House of Answers. And you guys were heading there presently, to go find out her part of the story. Meanwhile, Lantix... before that, Makra spoke to Ralph Riptide and asked him about his connections in the black market and where this contraption could come from, and he said come back to me tomorrow and I'll have some news for you. And meanwhile, Lantix was about to do a bit of investigation of himself and figured out that someone had been snooping around in his journals and had scribbled out his name in the logs, so to speak, and covered it in ink. And Lantix figured out that's kind of what Blood Knights do when they're doing a bit of snooping around. They're allowed by law to kind of like black out their name with ink so that you don't know who it was. But I believe you figured out some of the letters of the name and could make your own deductions from there. And afterwards, we ended the session, and we were going to end it on Lantix. Lantix was about to do something. I can't quite rightly recall what you're about to do, but Lantix, what would you like to do?
That's probably because I don't think I was going to do anything, but you was like, do you want to do something? And I was like, nah.
I believe you headed back to your dorm room, and something was about to occur. You were going to do some research, I believe.
It would be news to me, so...
Well, what would you like to do, Lantix? It is roughly mid-afternoon. You know that your allies are currently looking for the two thieves and the contraption that you are interested in.
Yeah, it'll be more probably likely to meet up with them early because I've got this information about the Blood Knights, and best person to speak to about that is young Master Ironblood. So
okay. So
I'll
Lantix,
make my way to try and find them.
as you're about to leave the university, you get that familiar kind of like tingle up your body and up your nape as arcane energies attached to your body, and you hear Zashida's voice. She says, Lantix, I hear that you are looking for me. You can come to my office. We can talk about the so-called resignation. You can reply to this message.
I'll be there momentarily.
Yeah, and you don't get anything else. And as you turn around, you see Visner at the desk. He's like, I told her you were here.
Thank you. I'll go straight up.
Okay, so you head up through the marble staircase, following the spiral stone steps, and they're kind of like nearly as tall as you, so you're doing that classic, And as you get to the top, the door opens automatically, and there's like a gust, cool breeze that issues you forth into a vaulty solar of sorts at the top of the tower. It's very Spartan, doesn't have much of it in the way of decoration. Has a marble desk that's kind of built into the floor itself, like it's just a slab that the builders left behind, but polished smooth with blue veins at the top. She has a few tomes on the left, and an ink and quill that seems to be dancing on its own, filling stuff in, as she holds two fingers up, concentrating on it. She clicks them down, and the quill falls, and she says, Lantix, quick. And she flashes her hand like that, and a seat slides across the floor and lands directly opposite her desk. She says, take a seat, please.
Thank you, Mistress Cherning.
Wine? She reaches for the pitcher.
Please.
Mm-hmm. And with a flick of her wrist, the goblet that was on its side vibrates and then flips back upright. She begins to fill it up. So this, and she kind of picks a piece of paper up from her right, holds it up. You want to resign for adventuring?
Yes, that seems to be my course now. I mean, I'd very much like to still be involved with the university. I do enjoy my time teaching here, but I just can't dedicate as much time as I used to.
That's a shame, Lantix. You have been one of our greatest savants.
It's been very pleasurable to be here.
She nods. Well, before you go, I would like to thank you for all of the work that you've put in, all the knowledge you have bestowed upon the students. And then she reaches into one of the drawers, pulls out a sack of coins, puts it down, and says, the 6 month in lieu that you worked for some years ago. And, of course, this month's. So write down that you've got 175 gold pieces.
Many thanks, Mistress Chernin.
It is yours. Now, before you go, can I ask what your plan is? I mean, you don't exactly have friends that can help in your adventuring pursuits. In which direction are you going to travel? I mean, of whom are you going to take? Oh, before I forget, and she reaches into her robes and puts down another small coin purse, and she says, yeah, and she holds it with two fingers. He dropped it out of his sobriquet. And she puts it down. The bugbear. I believe it's his coins. While we supped and drank wine, it fell out from where he keeps his genitalia. And she kind of like moves her hand back, wipes it on her robes.
Well, yes, thank you.
She loves the idea of having that all over her hands, never mind wiping them.
And I'll just pull like a little handkerchief out and kind of wrap it round
I believe you will see him before I do.
I suspect I will. I was on my way there shortly. But to answer your question, young Master Ironblood, you probably remember him. He was a student here previously.
I do remember him. Oh, well, I'm sure he will make
contact again.
I'm sure he'll make a fantastic companion. Talking of companions, I have several about to arrive, and well, I'd like to introduce you to her. She's here on a quest of sorts. She may be helpful to you.
Well, any friend of yours is a friend of mine.
She looks out the window towards the kind of like the sun dipping further towards the horizon, towards sunset. She goes, she should be here around about now. Okay, so we go over to Gwendeth and Chester, and as you enter the city, its opulence is obvious from sight. Around you, sandstone buildings baking in the sun just rise up into the 3-story towers. But you are approaching from the Quizerton town side, so you have to cross a large white glass stone bridge. And below you, a gentle stream, a canal, runs by, and you see people just poling themselves along. So, Gwendeth and Chester, as you approach towards the university, following Gwendeth's letter that she had arrived, you have to pass by some shaded and awning-covered side roads. And as you do, 2 people step out on the opposite end of the alley to face you.
I would like to just keep on going straight ahead, ignoring them, and running into them if they don't step aside.
Okay, so they do kind of block the way. One is a tiefling, and she looks rather desperate and ill. She's got sweat beading down the front of her face. She just goes... and she has some weird kind of glowing contraption on her right arm, and she has a dagger in her left. The guy has a rapier, and he just... with a slight kind of singing of metal, steel, as he drags it, and then he goes... And as he does, you see he flickers faintly between becoming transparent and not, and he goes, damn them! Stay where you are.
Gwendeth, it appears these individuals wish to cross blades with me. Stand aside. I shall take this. You there, good man. And I'll click in this guy's face.
He kind of looks towards you. You see he's wearing a big turban of sorts, holding, keeping very, very large amount of hair in, and he has a rapier, and he's shaking slightly, and he says, just drop your gold, and you can go on your way. And he looks obviously pained and sick.
Ah, he wishes to duel. What do you reckon? Standard rules? Perhaps we'll mix in a little tete-a-tete, behave perhaps a step, a lockstep, a waltz. What do you feel?
The guy just looks confused. He goes, just give me your gold!
Clearly, you've never met me before. Do you really want to tangle with the man who took on the Mokhul rasping ghoul? Or perhaps the yellow sea serpent? Or maybe Rhee's peaked pterodactyl? You've never heard of me, for I am Chester Decker, slayer of beasts, lover of women, and purveyor of fine artifacts.
He goes... Roll intimidation. Or persuasion. Like, if you're persuading him of who you are... Actually, fuck it, it's deception for sure.
Hang on, what would you like to be roll? Which one?
Yeah, deception. Yeah, deception.
I am proficient in all.
Oh,
for fuck's sake.
Well, technically you get advantage, because we know the feat that you've got.
Okay, hang on. Jesus,
Double 11s. Alrighty. Okay, so...
He's clearly never heard of me.
Yeah, he goes, I've never heard of Chester Decker.
Ah, my good man, I'll slowly draw my rapier. Well, it appears that you have tangled with the wrong foe for the last time. Perhaps if you will leave your money where you are, we'll let you walk away. What say you, Gwendolyn?
It's Gwendeth, sir, as I've told you 1,000,000 times before.
Ah, right you are, sorry. Anyway, Gwendeth here is leading me to a fearsome beast for which I can slay, and then write in my latest book. And perhaps you'll make the footnote.
El Diablo.
El Diablo, that's right.
They're both looking... The tiefling goes, it's not worth it, Omar. Not worth it, please. And she kind of like... disappears, stumbles away and pukes into what looks like a discarded chamber pot, and you see a rat climb out and run off, and then he turns to see her and he goes, you got lucky, and then picks her up and just tries to run off down the alleyway.
Now she's running away. It appears they don't want my comeback. But I suppose if they did, they'd have to scrape it off their own mother's teeth.
The culture in this city is very weird. We've only arrived a minute ago, and already people are puking in the corners.
Ah, Gwendolyn. You've obviously never been to the Empire before. It is a fine and shimmering example of civilization. I myself have been here many times. Stick with me, and you cannot go wrong.
Should I puke in the alley?
No, 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 no. That's the custom of the local drunkards. You want to make sure that you snub your nose at people and make sure you look like you fit in. If anyone looks your way, call them a braggart or a cur. They love that here.
I would like to, as we walk to the Wizard's Tower, call everyone who looks at me a braggart.
It's also
Oh my god!
very, very important that whenever you say hello or greet a merchant, you step back thrice and do this dance, and I'll do a little wiggle. This is the custom, the local custom. I'm very, very knowledgeable with these things.
No wonder you humans can't craft anything if that's what you do before you do anything.
You're so funny.
Okay, so
Am I?
as you begin walking towards the university, it's large, spiraling kind of towers made out of black rock. You walk towards it, braggart, and they're just looking at you really confused. And you have to cross another bridge to get towards the university grounds, a large kind of campus that seems to be just more greenery than dorms. And as you approach the stone steps, a half-elf peers at you from behind a desk, narrows her eyes and says, a dwarf. You must be Gwendeth.
Braggart, yes! I am.
You're nailing it, by the way.
And I would like to take 3 steps back, and then do a little bit, and then walk forward again.
Roll performance.
16.
Fuck me.
Nice. So as you do it, she goes, fantastic.
It
Pleasant.
works!
Mm.
It works, Chester.
I mean,
Of course.
you've put a smile on my face.
I do that a lot, and I'll do it a lot more when I slay El Diablo.
She kind of like doesn't know what you're talking about. It says, Zashida will see you whenever you are ready, and she just points towards the staircase behind her. It says, go straight to the top, walk on in.
Well, yes, we've been here before. Well, at least I have. Perhaps you remember me. Chester Decker.
I can't quite say I remember you. And she reaches forward to shake your hand.
Always a pleasure to meet a fan. Ha we go.
Chester has been everywhere. It's amazing. He knows every place.
She looks good. He does look like a well-travelled man as he walks on towards the staircase. Jesus. Okay, so at the top, you guys go to approach the large door, and inside you can hear some chattering. And as you both walk in, we'll start with Gwendeth. Gwendeth, would you like to explain what your character looks like to everyone that's not there, but as well as Lantix, who's currently sitting with Zashida?
Gwendeth is small for a dwarf, so she's basically a walking barrel. And she's dressed like a Spanish conquistador would be dressed, with, a helmet, the conquistador chestplate, and she's covered in furs from stuff she has presumably hunted at some point, but it's like every piece of fur, so there's like half a squirrel hanging somewhere from her chestplate. There's what can presume to have been a bird at some point. There's just feathers sticking out. And if there's a double door, she does the thing where she opens both doors at the same time and then just steps in.
Yeah, that's what you do.
And says, braggart.
Zashida looks shocked and surprised. It goes, it's her. And then Chester walks in and she just goes, who's he? Who are you, Chester? Explain and describe what you look like.
So, he's a very short and squat and portly man with a rather large midriff. He's wearing a cream and red doublet and a beret with a very large feather in it, an obnoxiously large feather. On his back, he carries an array of instruments and various different things. And he also has a small flute that also appears to double as a quill.
When you said this, I was like, what?
That's the first thing you notice.
It's this giant flute quill. The quill flute, as it's called. Okay, so... Yeah.
Ah, my lady, it has been so long since we last spoke. Chester Decker, if you don't remember.
Zashida goes, Lantix, this is Gwendeth, and no, Chester, it's a pleasure to meet you, but no, I do not recall us meeting last.
What?
How long ago?
Slayer of the Thebo Tyrannosaur? You don't remember?
She's...
Traveller of the Crystal Wastes? I single-handedly slay the dragon at Port Phobos. You perhaps have read my book.
She goes, no, I can't. This is Chester. She goes, I don't remember that. In fact, I don't ever remember there being a Tebow Tyrannosaur.
That's because he killed it. You'll have to hear the story. It was amazing. I didn't believe him at first, but the way he tells it, he had to have been there.
Thank you, Gwendir. That's great.
Sashida just goes, well then, regale me and Lantix with the finer details.
Ah! A gnome! I once knew a gnome. Hello.
A pleasure to meet you, Mr. Decker. You sound quite the accomplished hero.
It's
Mr. Chernin, I see why you would recommend him.
She just goes silent.
It's an absolute pleasure. The pleasure is all mine. Perhaps I can regale you over a drink. But in the meantime, I'll open my little quill flute so it's got the quill bit section, and I'll sign whatever piece of paper is near. Probably the resignation letter.
Jesus. Oh.
That's for you guys.
Oh, okay. And she just looks around and says, anyway, this is Gwendith, the friend I was telling you about.
Braggart!
Yeah. I believe Chester may have got to her. But, Gwendith, I have the information that you needed on Nalsof Salah, the Void Carver.
I don't know who that is.
El Diablo. Look, I refuse to call
El
her...
Diablo!
I refuse to call her by her silly Nasian nickname.
It's not silly. It's the most amazing nickname a dragon could ever have. Chester, you agree, right?
I do agree. It sounds like a fearsome beast. I would love to tangle blades with it.
It is fearsome. It has killed everyone I ever knew, except Chester.
Zashida says, well, Lantix, if you were ever in need of travelling companions, these would be your friends. I'm assuming, Chester, you would love to dance and cross blades with fearsome creatures while exploring Reapsos, no?
That would be a dream, my lady.
And then Zashida just crosses gazes with you, Lantix, and says, if you ever need to come back to university to lecture, just come back. And she smiles, goes, have a good time with Chester, Lantix. I'm sure you'll have a wonderful time.
Thank you, Mistress Chernin. I will.
And she passes over a small tome to you, Gwendith.
I look at the tome.
Okay, so it's probably about 40 pages. It's a really small book, roughly the size of your palm, where she's detailed sightings and the times and dates of the sightings of El Diablo.
El Diablo. So Gwyneth can probably get about half of those pages done before her attention span stops.
Yep.
At that point, she just gives it to Chester and tells him to check if he...
yes.
Amazing tracking prowess.
Yes, I've seen this all before. We'll have this down in a span. Consider us back home and bathed in a dragon's riches before you know it.
Can you believe I've just randomly found him in some pub?
A stroke of luck and of genius, if I do say so myself, Gwendor. But at the same time, perhaps... perhaps we could make haste. I reckon we could track this dragon round within days. Ha ha!
So, Gnome, you must be a fearsome dragon slayer.
Myself?
Yes.
No. What makes you think that?
I don't know why you would be here otherwise.
Don't worry, little man, and I'll pat Lantix on the head. You've got all the help you need here in your...
Yeah, we'll make a dragon slayer out of you yet. And I slap him on the back.
What? Explain yourself. Tell me about this dragon. Why am I involved?
About the dragon? About El Diablo.
Mistress Chernin, is this a joke?
I know. Do you wish to come back to lecture at the university, or...?
Is this some kind of scheme? You
I
just want me back on the payroll, don't you?
I have no clue what you are talking about, Master Lantix. I thought you wanted an adventuring life with adventurers. Master Deck here seems like the finest adventurer I've ever met.
Well...
He will surely help you in your goals to plunder monoliths and explore Eopsos with dashing warriors at your side, such as Master Ironblood.
Well, yes, so that was the plan. Monoliths, research, not dragon slaying.
Well, if Gwendeth had the opportunity to look to the last page where the last sighting of
I
North
stealthily
Sarsala-
take back the book, very obviously.
yeah, then you'd find that most of the locations on that there ledger are either unearthed monoliths or ones that are currently in waiting to be plundered by Wiltix and his crew. The rights obviously can be purchased from Wiltix.
Ah, Wiltix, yes. Know him well.
He knows everyone.
You know young Master Oracorin as well?
Yes, we've been fine friends for years. Been several of my signings. Big fan, big fan.
Marvellous, marvellous. You don't make smutty books, do you?
No, but he is a purveyor of the finer arts, the higher literature. And
You know him well.
anyway, I zoned out for a second there. Sorry, what's happening?
You know, he at first kept telling me about these people he knows, and I didn't believe him. But then, 2 days after meeting him, I got a letter, and I've never gotten a letter before, so he must know people. Because already I'm getting letters. That's just after 2 days.
Fascinating.
Yes, it is. Yes.
So, El Diablo has been visiting these monoliths, and I don't know why he would do that.
Monoliths?
Yes, that's what I said, monoblips. And he doesn't usually do that. He usually just kills dwarves. Like everyone I ever knew. So, let's go there and kill El Diablo.
Yes, let's.
I do have some pressing matters before that. If,
We shall help you. I'm an expert at pressing matters.
We'll press them together.
Sorry.
Well, let me introduce you to some of my other companions then. I'm due to meet them shortly.
Fantastic. Other companions. A travelling group, perhaps. You can all have a little footnote in my next epic. Let's go.
Well, follow me.
Okay, so
Mistress Chernin?
she says, "Have a wonderful time, Master Lantix. But remember, the university's doors are always open if you wish to come back."
I suspect they always will be.
Oh yeah.
I'll keep it in mind.
Not you. Anyway, have
very
a
well.
fine afternoon. You can all leave now. As she reaches
Yes.
over and grabs the wine bottle.
Yes, and if I wanted to hear from an asshole, I'd simply fart. Let's go.
She's like, "What?" as the door closes. And so you guys head back down to the airy front desk, the antechamber of the university. And Visna says, "Have a grand afternoon, Lantix," as you exit into the baking late afternoon sun. And
Good day.
you knew, the last thing you knew, Lantix, that was Makra and Grildar had gone to visit Eros.
I believe they've gone to the southeast. Follow me. We should be able to locate them, especially with your marvelous tracking prowess I've heard so much about.
Which
Yes,
is
of course.
Where we go ahead, and can we have all three of you roll perception? I'm assuming Lantix would explain what his allies look like a bugbear and a dwarf.
Yeah.
So
I am proficient in perception, so I have a +1.
Random disadvantage. Or
plus,
something.
oh god, yeah, your goddamn wisdom is like -1 as a ranger.
That is correct. I am the worst ranger.
You should have had a 16 there, Mike.
Yeah, I don't know what happened to your.
Yeah, I don't know. It's weird.
What is this with the fucking 11s?
Oh, he's rolled 3 11s. This is fantastic.
I have it on the right setting.
Well, you have advantage on somewhere, or disadvantage on somewhere. Specifically for that.
It's giving me a pop-up for input value, advantaged, yes or no. It's never done
So
it.
you've got it on query rather than on roll 2?
Yeah, you've got.
No, I've got it on legacy roll too. One.
Don't know what you've
one
done
is
there.
you.
That's really strange.
Yeah.
Roll 20, guys.
Ooh.
All right. So
How does
Could you move
Jack
us
of all
to
trades
the
work,
place?
Liam? Do I just add it naturally, or does it just...
It's already in.
I see it. Yeah, I see it.
The character sheet is cool like that and adds Jack of all trades automatically into your skill checks for you.
See, I've got some blimmin' fantastic modifiers, and I've just rolled pants from the moment this
Welcome to
campaign
Bards.
started.
This is what
Yep.
Bards do. You think you're great, you roll, and you're like, I'm terrible.
Oh, my character definitely thinks he's great.
Character.
Yeah, it really does.
Okay, so if Arno, you saying he definitely rolled a 16?
No, sorry. You should have had a 2 and a 13 as the roll results rather than a 2 and a 1, but it would have still been a 5.
Yeah. Okay. So also, can Makra and Grildor roll perception? As you're all walking through the south, there's so many 11s. What's going on?
So could you move us to the city map, please, Liam?
Yes, of course. I apologise.
Thank you very much.
Oh my god.
We just literally walk past each
Yes,
other.
you guys all walk past one another. But before we get there, Chester, a half-orc approaches you and says, "Ah, Chester, it's been a while, friend."
Aha, yes.
And you
Hello.
see, below him, next to him, is a small girl of sorts, and she looks rather down on luck. And he says, "It's been a long while. Me and my daughter here, we've been travelling, and we've come upon hard times, Chester."
Hard times. I know them well.
Chester, you can make one more perception check.
I shout.
Also, Liam, remember that I was heading to the blood barracks afterwards.
Oh, okay, the blood barracks. I thought you were going
Let's-
straight to the House of Answers.
Go with the 11. Hang on. Perception. Bit better.
Okay, so what did you roll?
15.
Alright, so you do notice something about the little girl. As you get closer to look at her, she has a little tuft of hair protruding out of what looks like her hair, like the blonde hair. She also has a bit of tuft of hair underneath the skirt, and her legs look rather hairy and paw-like. Like her feet look a little bit like paws.
Oh. Yes, well, hard times, but as I say, from where I'm from, and in my most recent book, stupidity's not a crime, so feel free to go.
He kind of looks at you and says, "Perhaps you would be interested in some of the stuff that my daughter has made,
I'm always interested in things. What have you got?
This," and he produces a small vial with white liquid in that looks a little bit fizzy. Says it's a potion that we come across. She's a talented alchemist. It's worth 5 silver pieces.
And its effects. Of course, I am proficient in all alchemy, and I can identify most potions on sight, but I'd like to hear it from you.
Oh, well, it restores youth to the skin.
How remarkable. The elixir of life? For that I'll pay 10 silver pieces.
Oh, a gold piece. Fantastic.
Ah, good.
He hands you over
right.
the small vial.
One thing I didn't do was my money, for goodness sake.
You've got about 30 gold pieces.
Yeah, hand it over.
And he goes, thank you, and then him and the little girl run off down one of the side roads. Okay, so...
I would like to roll insight on what they told Chester, because I am proficient in insight, so I have a +1.
Go ahead.
I think you'll get on quite well with our friend Mr. Ra.
I
Yes,
get on
but
well with
I-
most people.
There you go, I whisper to you.
Anyway, Lantix, what's your field of study?
It was so nice of you, Chester, to buy that from them, even though they were totally lying.
I know, of course I saw through it immediately, but they appeared impoverished. It was important to support those around you.
Yeah, I imagine with all your book sales, you must be making bang.
This is, and of course when I started conversing with them, I was hoping for a battle of wits, but it would be wrong to attack someone so totally unarmed.
I like how worldly Chester is.
Very philanthropic.
Okay, so as you guys are heading down towards Eros Sant's house in Albu Avenue, you guys have to cross the market square and take a raft over towards Sea Tower. But meanwhile, I believe Grildar and Macro were heading towards the Blood Barracks, not the House of Answers.
Correct. Well, I was going at least. I don't think Macraw was coming because I don't think he'd be very welcome in the Blood Barracks.
Macro, what are you up to?
Muted? Yeah, still muted. Nope.
Classic Curtis. I know you've got the flu, but let's not be silly. He's not muted on my screen. He's just silent.
Oh yeah, he's not muted. His microphone's just not recording anything.
All right, so wow, classic. All right, we'll move over to Grildar for a second.
Yep. All right, so
You try and fix it for the now, and then we'll role play over here. So Grildar, you're heading towards the Blood Barracks, and it's only probably it's probably about actually kind of like a 45-minute walk from here. Yeah. And as you approach the Blood Barracks, it's coming close to dinner time, and you see that outside the Hound Guard lined up in their usual formation, guarding the entire building. And to your west, to your left, you see the walls of the Moonlit Shield rising up on their cliff faces, dominating this part of the city itself. As you approach, you see there are a few old faces outside. One of them's smoking a pipe. He's an oldish Blood Knight. That goes by the name of O'Cock.
good evening, O'Cock.
What are you doing here, Grildar?
Well, I've got some information that I think the higher up should know about.
Who?
Thought I'd best bring it to you directly.
Who are you talking about? Who should what know about what? Sorry.
Oh, just I wasn't referring to anyone in particular. I was just telling him someone higher up needs to know about this information.
Okie dokie, he says, fine.
Who's the captain on duty tonight?
Liam checks his list of NPCs. Says, actually, it's going to be a bit difficult. The Blood General himself is in.
Great. Well, I'm going to have to deal with it anyway. Can't let this go for too long without letting someone know what's happening. There could be something quite dangerous afoot, and well, if it gets a bit nasty in there, we'll just have to deal with it.
He goes, right, well, I guess you could speak to, Jarpu.
Very well. Can you show me where he is?
Yep. Okay, so Jarpu, Captain Jarpu, is the younger brother of Omark. Omark Jarpu.
Right.
No, the younger brother of Lukeman, sorry. And as you approach him, he's a fine specimen of a human with dark skin, short, close-cropped hair. He has that broad shoulders and the kind of clip uniform that you'd see most Blood Knights have. He's sat behind a walnut-coloured desk, writing in a ledger. And as you approach, the youngest brother of the Jarpu family, his name is Volt.
Okay.
And he looks up, and his dark eyes regard you. Looks down, sorry, I should have said. No offense. No dwarf racism there. And then he goes, Grildar. And, well, this guy himself, as you look at him, is the God King's son. So, he stands, folds his arms in front of you.
Yes, good day, sir.
Good day.
I have information to report that I feel is of enough significance to come and report it directly here. I informed some of the house guard near where the hound guard somewhere near the affected area, but they seem disinterested, as they usually are. It seems that in Newtown there is some trouble brewing that might affect more than just Newtown. We were sent there, well, guided there by someone pretending to be helping us with an investigation. However, we actually found out that this person was trying to assassinate someone. Not so alarming. Assassinations happen all the time, I know. However, the assassination target is a Gorgon who seems to be running things over there.
You mean Lady Obsidian?
Indeed.
We
knew?
have knowledge of her appearance. Yes, of course we do, Glildar. She is unnecessarily evil here in Newtown.
Very well. If things are under control, that's all good. However, there are some strange happenings about related to, or at least surrounding Lady Obsidian. We found
Yes.
some strange technology that, well, it's rather worrying. They are of a very rare design, and they are clearly made with an intent to harm, and these weapons are being harnessed in ways that even the creator of the technology himself does not quite recognize. Someone is repurposing this technology for weaponization.
Look, if it comes to Lady Obsidian, she is... well, she is a major domo of the Hallowed Shadow. And despite our constant arrests and harassment of these people, they are a necessary evil, as I said. Lady Obsidian herself keeps the foreigners in Newtown in check. Her influence around the surrounding area is vast, and her intimidation tactics keep those surly sailors in line. We tend to let her do what she wants, as long as her purview does not increase to the Interlai Valley or the Fetus.
I understand and agree with your approximation of what is happening. However, the incident I was talking about was not inside Newtown. Well, I'm not sure if it was murder or manslaughter, but something happened near the House of Coin, far outside her influence.
I see that, and he kind of shuffles some papers about and says, "The burglary, at the warehouse, yes?"
That one.
Mm-hmm. Well, I had officers put on that anyway. What concern is it of you? I'm just wondering.
Yes, no, very well. The reason we were there is that we were asked privately to investigate this matter.
By whom?
Well, initially, Eris Sant seems to be the one wanting to find out what is happening.
Elos Sant? You mean
Yes.
the elvish fellow?
The skittish one.
Wait, He clicks his fingers towards his assistant and says, Eros Sant. Remember a couple of days ago and the assistant goes, "Yes, of course, sir," begins moving some papers about, and then hands him one, and he picks it up. And as he begins to read the document in front of him, he goes, "I think you've been duped, Master Ironblood." And he hands you the certificate.
Mm-hmm. What does
And
it say?
it's the death certificate of Eros Sant. His body was found floating in the Bay of Spears 4 days ago.
Ooh.
It cannot
see.
be Eros Sant, no?
Quite possibly not.
Unless
way.
we have identified his body wrong. I mean...
Could be either or. Let me tell you this then. The person claiming to be Eris Sant, whether he is or not, was willing to pay handsomely for any goings on investigation. As a matter of fact, the aforementioned person by the name of Elijah, who led us to Lady Obsidian and tried to assassinate her, well, or at least that's what we think was his plan, he got himself killed, and after reporting this back to the person claiming to be Eris Sant, he was willing to, well, provide us with a significant sum of money merely for the location of this person's body.
Well, Gilda, I do not know what is going on, but I can definitely send some hounds or some kittens to do the work. I suggest you steer clear of this Eros scent, because he is obviously not who he says he is. We've had a recent problem in the Fresh Flask. There was a doppelganger.
I see. That could very well be the case.
Perhaps we have come across some of his kin. But Gilda, the Hallowed Shadow are brazen in those districts. Do not cross them.
Yeah, somehow I do not feel like these are the same organization. After all, they were working against each other, it seems. Either way, I do not have a problem staying away from them, but if need be, you can call on me to have a non-official investigation.
Look, I will do, friend, but really, this whole murder inquiry into Eros Sant was dealt with by the kittens and the hounds.
Yes.
I've only heard of it because of course, Eros Sant was a magister, and the murder of a magister comes upstream.
Noted. Either way, I'll keep an eye out, and if we find out anything more that I think is of significance to the Empire, I will let you know.
If you are still investigating, you may want to take this, and he hands you a death certificate and says, make sure it gets back to the proper authorities when you are done. And you quickly go glance. It looks like Eros was not killed by drowning, but it looks like 3 slashes across the chest and a bite mark on the neck.
Okay, let me make some notes.
Says that his body was incredibly swollen, but the bite mark on his neck looked like it was done by some sort of animal. Like it was not like, we're not talking like a little bite, we're talking something gouged his windpipe out. Yeah. And then you remember back to the warehouse and the fact that Makrar found evidence of something being slashed, and the blood sliced up on the wall gave the evidence that there are 3 lines across the wall that someone had been slashed with a claw or something.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Curtis, do you actually have sound yet?
Don't know, do I?
Yay! Welcome back, Curtis!
That was literally Discord, that was. It was leaving and rejoining the call. Fuck knows.
Discord fucking up? I scarcely can believe it.
It definitely
So,
never
Makrar,
happened
can I
before.
ask you a question? Were you with him, or did you go off to the House of Answers on your own?
No, I didn't go by my own. I was just killing time whilst he was finished up. And imagine we're going to meet up and then make our way there. He kind of wants to do some retail therapy, but he also knows he's going to get swindled to fuck if he goes by himself. So he'd prefer to go with a responsible adult being being grilled or when he's available.
Alright, so you wait for Grildo. I'm assuming you exit the blood barracks to find Makrar outside.
Yep, indeed.
Alright, so...
And I'll just offer that I'll keep on investigating without, having to deep into it and let him know if there's something important.
Alright, so as you guys head back towards... I'm assuming you're going to go
Did we
towards...
learn anything interesting?
Oh, okay.
Just reported my findings, that's all.
Alright, okay. Well, I don't know about you, but I'm feeling particularly flush, and I could do with a bit of shopping. So let's go speak to our half-orc friend, and then do you fancy? I'm sure you've got some connections in the market, possibly.
What do you need?
Just new weaponry. Could do with some new weapons, and stuff to carry stuff. I'm a bit bare bones, hence the missing money.
Very well.
Cracking. Let's be on our way. Straight to the House of Answers, or are we meeting up with our tiny friend before we go?
No, I believe the idea is we would meet him at the university ground once we finished our investigation, no? Is that not what we agreed?
It might have been, I'm not sure. I thought it's strange how he doesn't want part of this, so I thought he'd find this quite interesting, but never mind, yeah, we'll meet him up there after. Let's be on our way.
Very well. Let's take the north route and we'll walk around there.
Alright, so yeah, you take the north route, which is the long route, so by the time you get to the university, it would be like 6 p.m. And we'll move on to the other 3, Chester, Gwendolyn, and Lantix. As you approach the eastern part of the market, they are currently doing trips for maybe a copper piece across the river.
You there?
The slave turns towards you,
Master?
bows his head.
We'd like to cross, please.
Of course, sir. Get on board and I'll take you along.
Please, join me.
Why don't they
The sea. Wonderful, wonderful. I'm quite the seaman myself. Oh, Stefan.
Alright, so to your right, you guys realise that the river has been positioned so there are multiple steps of dams that slow the river down upriver. And here, to your right, maybe about 400 meters to your southeast, the river cascades in a glittering kind of waterfall that heads down towards the sea. Beyond that, you can see the Silver Wharf, and it's like dozen or so teremes that are currently docked there. And as you get to the other side and follow the Sea Towers Road and down the cliffside, because there is a set of heavy stone steps that lead down there, you find Eros's manse estate. It looks closed up. Looks like the shutters are shut.
That's the residence of the man we're working for presently.
Fantastic. When do we meet?
Why does he want to kill El Diablo?
No, there's no dragons involved in this. Just a burglary, a murder perhaps, but no dragons.
And the monoglyphs.
Monoliths, yes, we'll get to those afterwards.
And then we'll get El Diablo.
Maybe so.
I'd apologise, but I've had several weeks of this on the road. Shall we?
Of course, Mr. Decker.
Okay. So I'm assuming you approach
As I
the... Sorry, go ahead, Rocket.
As I say, we're looking for a bugbear by the name of Makra, or a young dwarf, Grildor Ironblood.
So why are we hunting this bugbear?
We're not hunting a bugbear.
If it's a bugbear we're hunting, I'll slay it before it even hits the ground.
That's amazing. Is it a flying bugbear?
No.
So why are we hunting it?
Again, these are companions. They've been assisting in the case that we're investigating.
Ah, smart move, companions. That's the second thing I would have said.
That's the first trick of the hunt. Make your enemies believe you're one of them.
Well said, Gwendir, well said.
Yes. Again, there's no hunt.
Anyway,
Except
Shall we?
for the hunt for
Let's.
El Diablo.
Introduce us, good man, although I don't think there'll be a need.
Everyone
first
knows
things first,
Chester.
We have to find them.
Okay, so at that moment, the door opens, and you see Eros kind of stumble out with a satchel and filled brimming with stuff, just random stuff, and he stops and goes, "Oh, Lantix!
Master
Oh,
Kent.
fantastic to meet you again." Oh, and he wanders up, kind of now nice and calm. You see there's beads of perspiration, but it's about 5 o'clock in the evening. The sun's about to go down. It's quite hot. He goes, "How can I help you?" "Oh, you've brought friends. Brilliant."
Yes, 2 new compatriots who may be assisting. Not entirely sure yet. And Mr. Decker.
A pleasure.
Mr. Decker. Fantastic. I must be on my way, Master Lantix. I am presently off for a job. Is there anything that I
really?
can help you with before I go? And he kind of looks towards the east where the gate is that heads to Avbu Avenue.
Is there any more news? Have you heard anything?
Oh, I did receive the news of Master Elijah's sorrowful passing.
Oh, so tragic.
Yes, terrible thing that was. Awful, really.
Yes, I am gonna head off into the city right now. I mean, you can come with me if you wish.
Well, we was looking for Master Ra and young Master Ironblood. Have you
Not
seen them about?
Not 15 minutes past, they headed eastward through Avbu Avenue. I am not quite sure of their destination, Master Lantix, but they looked busy.
Let's at least put us on the right direction. We can find them from there, hopefully.
Not to worry. I know this road well. We'll find them in a spiffy.
I wish you all a good afternoon. I must be off, Lantix.
And to you. Enjoy.
Goodbye. And he kind of walks off up the steps, like rushing off towards Sea Tower.
So while we have a moment, Mr. Lantix, what is your field of expertise?
My field of expertise. What, at the university?
Yes, what do you read? What do you study? Give me the gory details. It's been a long time since I've had worthwhile companionship to talk these things through.
Oh, well, certainly. My specialities are arcane automation and hard light construction.
Ah, yes, arcane construction and hard light automation. Excellent, things I know.
Really? You've
Does
read my works
everyone who
before?
knows these things?
Exceedingly well, actually. I'm quite familiar with your works, yes. It's been a while since I've read them, though. Do regale me with them.
Oh, well, of course. On the road, shall we?
Let's.
I'll just, I suppose, go into a really in-depth conversation about this.
Yes.
I really
excellent.
hope that at some point, like, Landix just intentionally goes full techno babble, and then just like,
He
yeah,
probably
yeah,
will
yeah,
at some
yeah.
point. It's just spewing shit.
I feel that if Lantix is just going to go, Chester will just be like, yes, the old automation conundrum, of course.
Yes. So with the quantum flux and
All that business.
Yeah.
Okay, she was
Right,
brilliant.
so Chester, you're saying that you know Avbu Avenue. Would you like to roll an investigation check looking for your allies?
I didn't know I was such a bad traveling companion.
Oh, you really.
Well,
The-
let's
the
just
face
say
on Adrian.
I didn't realize the gods had a sense of humor until I started hanging out with you.
Oh God.
I choose to think that's a compliment.
Mm-hmm.
Are we all making perception, Liam?
No investigation from you. You said I know Avbu Avenue.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah.
It's a 12!
Yeah, okay,
We
so,
are improving.
yeah, so after about maybe 2 or 3 walks up and down Avbu Avenue and asking several passers-by if they'd seen a bugbear, eventually after about 30 minutes to 45 minutes, a rather drunk half-elf sitting on a porch goes, "Look, they went that way towards the House of Cats."
Are my allies nearby as he says this?
Yeah.
Well, as he does, I'll go, thank you. I'll pick up some soil off the ground and let it kind of rub it between my fingers and let it go between the breeze, and I'll go, that way, gents.
Okay.
Found them. Found the track.
Yes, House of Cats.
You have to teach me that.
Alright, so as you approach the House of Cats, you notice that the density of stray cats just begins to skyrocket. You see about maybe 30 on each roof as you begin to approach. And then as you see the House of Cats, it's a large square-like temple filled with flowering pillars and a central fountain that shoots out with a statue of Bastet holding a short sword facing towards the setting sun. And as you approach, there are clerics and paladins of Bastets out in the gardens at the front, surrounded by stray cats. There seems to be maybe about 200-300 cats here.
Ugh. It's a positive meountain.
Bear with me, Mr. Decker.
Okay, and I guess you guys approach.
Hello.
Okay, a young female elf cleric, probably in her early 80s, approaches you, and she just kind of like twiddles her thumbs and goes, Can I help you? Welcome to the House of Cats."
Apparently, I'm really bad at maps. Where the fuck's House of Cats? I can't
On
see
the
it.
most eastern point.
I've
Mayhaps
got
you
it.
can, young miss. Mayhaps you can. We're looking for some companions we believe came this way. Young bugbear by the name of Makra and a dwarf, Gwildar Ironblood. You may have seen them.
No, I have not.
Oh,
Ah,
that is unfortunate. This is
I
the
could've-
right way, isn't it, Mr. Decker?
It is, yes, it's without question.
Where do you suppose they could have got to?
I think, and I'll whisper to Lantix just so that he can hear me, I think our maitre d', as it were, is being a little bit of a sour puss.
Mayhaps. Well, we shouldn't waste any more time here. They're clearly not around. We should probably move on.
Okay. As you turn to the northwest, the Atlantics, it doesn't take much, and I'm going to say that you're intelligent to then go, the blood barracks. Grildar would probably head there to get acquainted with some of his old acquaintances that might be able to help.
I think we definitely told them where we were going as well before we split up. We were like, "Yep, we're going there, and then we're going there."
I'm pretty sure you just told them that you were going to Eros.
Oh, was he there for the Oh no, he might not. Was he
No.
there for the conversation with Sant when we were on about?
No,
the-
he was not.
Awful. That's why he doesn't know where we are. That
Yep.
makes sense.
This is why. Okay, so after heading towards the blood barracks, Lantix, let's gloss over this. You do manage to get from the guard outside. He says, "Yeah, Grildar and a hairy bugbear went that way," and he points the northern route through the dunes around Moonlit Shield. And he goes, "They said something about heading back to see someone at the university."
Oh, bother. Well, it seems we've had quite the journey, and
You've got to
probably
literally
unnecessary.
done a 5-mile walk in a big circle.
Yep,
should,
Q Benny Hill.
Return to the university.
Okay, so he calls you.
apologies.
He actually does call you a caravan, and you guys are given a lift. And just at that point, I guess around about 6 p.m, you'd all meet up just outside the university. The carriage would arrive just as Grildar and Makra are walking up to the steps. Finally, we have a group that's all together. Go ahead, guys.
Oh, were we nipping? I thought we were going straight to the House of Answers.
No, you've met
No,
up
we
outside
were
the
going
university.
past the university to check whether Atlantis was there.
Ah, right. Okay, fair dues. Well, when we meet back up.
Yoo-hoo! Yoo-hoo!
I'll
And blood.
draw my rapier. Oh, look at it! It's hideous.
Hello.
I will slay it.
No,
Get back, Master Lantix.
please.
Isn't that your gnome friend?
It is. And I'll walk over to greet him.
Okay, so you of course do see the new allies that Lantix has a
Braggart, fellow dwarf. It's been so
What?
long since I've seen a cousin.
What's your last name?
It's Redford.
No cousin of mine. Who are these people?
Well,
He's
may I
as rude as he
introduce
is
to you,
small.
Chester Decker and Gwendith. What was your surname? Sorry, I didn't catch it.
It's Redford, sir.
Gwendith Redford.
Ah,
These
this
are friends of Mistress Chernin.
I see.
Must be the
Keeps-
bugbear of the dwarf.
Odd companions at times, is she not?
Very much so. It's always been her way. But they seem to be interested in helping, among other things.
So Lantix has agreed to join me on my hunt for El Diablo.
I'll just, like,
that's a you
I'll
fan.
just-
Yes.
Like, walk towards Atlantics, just put him off to the side a little bit so I could normally talk. And she's like, well, you just came from where we came from. How come? Didn't we agree that we'd meet up at the university?
Yes. We thought we had more time, to be honest. My meeting went a lot quicker than I expected, so I thought I might catch up to you.
Ah.
But
I see.
alas,
Well,
we...
it seems you
wait.
did, just in time. Well, some things to discuss. It seems that, and I'll drop my voice to whisper so that only Netflix can hear and say, it seems that the the Blood Knights are well aware of Lady Obsidian's presence, and she's to be kept in place. She stabilizes the region, and they don't want to create a power vacuum. She's not the source of these issues. If we find anything that's related to her, well, we're probably best leaving it there and trying to find what else is involved. At least these two others that seem to be involved were on their radar. And we should go and... You can't hear a thing of this, Gwyneth. I'm whispering to Landix.
Just nudging along.
It also seems that Arasant, while paying us handsomely for some information that we gave him, does not actually seem to be Arasant, as the body of Arasant was retrieved roughly 2 days ago, found in water bloated, but clearly did not pass as a result of the drowning. He was slashed across the chest, and a sizable chunk of his flesh had been eaten out of him by
Is
a
that so?
presumably large beast.
I saw him not scant an hour ago.
Yes, there was mention of a doppelganger.
Oh, a doppelganger.
Indeed.
Hmm.
Either way, I would appreciate it if you would not share this information with any of our other companions. I know that you are not loose-lipped.
No, of course not, but
Familiar
most
with-
troubling, I saw him making off from his residence with numerous possessions earlier.
Yes, not his possessions. I take it as what you-
Well, yes, I'm assuming so now.
Shall
He
we
was
head
making
straight
his
there
way
then?
to the north, perhaps the edge of the city.
Perhaps head right there.
I would say so, yes. But quickly, I also have news. You mentioned the Blood Knights and their knowledge of this. Well, it
Yes.
seems they also have knowledge of my work as well. They, prior to you, they were the last ones to be reading my tomes. You're probably familiar, but in the ledger in the library, there was a name crossed out. I managed to uncover some of the letters, but they had tried to blank it.
What did you get from it?
Here, I wrote it down.
Oh, geez,
One
that's a
moment.
giant Chester.
And I don't know what the letters were. I will scroll
I don't know what that
through
did.
them.
You did
And
good.
I can't see it. Liam, do you know what those letters were that you gave me?
They're somewhere up here. They were italics and everything, so...
Yeah, they're off the chat.
Are they?
Let's open the chat.
Yeah, I found them.
please.
Yeah, I found them as well.
Oh, maybe I'm blind.
There you go.
And there was one letter in between, was that right?
Yeah, it would be... It was hard to write down in Roll20, so...
Yeah, just use dots.
Yeah, okay, so M...
Or stars or something.
Wish I knew how to spell the goddamn name. That would help, wouldn't it?
Probably.
Maybe.
Now, one of them looks similar to the names that was mentioned by Lady Obsidian. The other one, maybe so, but it will be an odd spelling from how I heard it. Very curious, though.
And what did you hear?
Omar and Hroth.
Yes, I do not know of these people. I know of the practice of the Blood Guard sometimes. Taking some information that they deem critical and raising it for public record for safety's sake.
Does the name look familiar to you? Someone you know?
Does not.
Well,
This
a mystery
definitely
for another
doesn't-
time.
Does not seem to be a Blood Guard himself. Probably a Blood Knight erased this information, but I doubt it was them who looked at your books. I mean, I'm sure they did as well, but they wouldn't even put their name.
I see. Yes, okay. Well, as I say, a mystery for another time, perhaps. We should probably, deal with our doppelganger friend.
You two talking about anything interesting? Or I'm just going to stand here with dick in hand? No?
Please,
Ah,
penis
a joke.
away, Mr. Ra.
Is Daka still there with his rapier out?
No, I put it away now. The moment you made a joke. He's funny. I like him.
It's a good thing you put it away. I need something to pick my teeth with. What was it? Dicker? I'll go up and try to shake your hand.
Chester Decker. Perhaps you've heard
Chester Decker. Right, okay. No, I'm not that well travelled, unfortunately. You don't seem like my kind of company, usually.
Oh, really? Well, yes, normally I hang around with attractive sorts, and I think the only way you'll ever get laid is if you crawl up a chicken's ass and wait it.
Yeah. We're going to get on really well, aren't we? And I just ignore him and then go, what is Gwendeth? Is it a gnome? Is it a dwarf? Is it
It's
a
a
hobbit?
dwarf.
So you're a halfling then, yeah? And I'll like crouch down and like give him my finger to shake.
It's a dwarf, sir.
Right, dwarf. You don't look like Grildor over there much though, no, do you?
No, he's from a different clan, and he seems to be from a very disgruntled clan. I don't quite... It's a pleasure to meet you, and I enthusiastically changed the hand.
I was just laughing at the disgruntled comment. That tickled him at least. Right then, okay. Well, are you lot joining us on our investigations then,
You'll never need another man such as I. Now I'm here, all of our adventures will become mere walks in the park.
Aye.
Well, we've
One
been...
of those statements, I have no doubt.
Well,
A pleasure to meet you formally.
Solantix said we'd find the obelisks, and then I'd find my dragon, so...
Aye. Dragon Slayer, are we?
Oh,
Yes,
yes.
very good. Well, Mukra, to answer your question from before, you asked, well, what we were discussing. We were simply discussing where to go next and where to find you some of the things that you asked for.
Alright,
Now,
okay.
I believe, Landix, that you... Well, did you manage to speak to Vizna at all? I asked her whether she found a pouch belonging to Macra. He lost it somewhere.
Oh, yes, I do have that. Unfortunately.
Oh, you are
Yeah.
joking.
Here you are, Mr. Ra. This is yours.
Oh, absolute
You can keep
legend.
the handkerchief.
And then I'll drop you 10 gold out of it as like a finder's fee.
No, that's quite all right.
Okay. I guess I'll just hand it to my new little dwarf friend. I guess you can have it. I've already took out the pouch at that point. I can't be asked to put it back in.
I have shit
Very well.
perception, so I don't even notice how shit those coins are. I'll just take them.
Yeah, I'll just drop the coins your direction. Just wait for you to
The
stick
people
it out there.
from this continent are so generous.
I don't get used to it. Right then.
So, to the market, get you some new weaponry and something to cover yourself when needed.
Yeah, just mainly shit to attach stuff. You know, like leather belts. Mine have all long rotted. I've not really needed them for a while. I guess we can
Yes,
make our way there and
I
then.
agree.
Yeah.
Well, let's head over there. Meanwhile, we can get more acquainted, but we have something that's of a rather pressing nature. We should not dally too much, and I'll get walking.
Okay,
No,
so
no.
Mac, right, for about 5 gold pieces, you could set yourself up with a full a satchel, and the adventuring belts to attach potions and gear on and stuff like that.
Sound. And I want adventurer's pack as well.
Yeah,
I think
that also comes with a
10 gold is
cloak.
standard.
Like
No,
to
cloaks
head
are for fannies. I
Fair
just want belts. You come in, it looks like a BDSM. I've just got like belts, like normal.
Like one of those leather harnesses.
Yeah, just like a normal belt that like someone else would wear around the waist. I've just got one of them around my bicep that I can
Surely
just put like bits
That's
in.
a disadvantage in combat when someone could just hook you up to the ceiling randomly.
Oh, they can fucking try, can't they?
Alright, so,
I've got some belts and then
does
adventure
Looks
pack
like
too.
a Final Fantasy convention walking around.
Yeah, exactly.
Does anybody want to buy anything else in the marketplace? Because round about now, this marketplace is winding down.
I also want to buy, whilst I'm here, well, I might not be able to buy as straight away, but I want to see if I can put would it be a commission if you're still looking for weapons, I guess? But I just want a bastard sword.
Well, you can approach one of the blacksmiths if you want.
Mm-hmm. I'll make sure that I've got a Grendel and probably Chester, actually. I'll just probably just like grab him by like the shoulder or something and lead him. Like, just as we're walking up to it looks like you can drive a bargain if you were here. God damn it.
Okay, so a bastard sword's going to probably set you back about 50 gold pieces.
Oh, that's better than the 75 it's on the sheet. You sure it shouldn't just cost me that?
I just went for the great sword, but okay.
No, bastard sword's a bit more expensive, so I
75
think the
gold
weighting's
then.
a bit better.
Yeah.
75 gold, that's sound. I'll pass him 7 platinum pieces and 5 gold.
Yeah, he thanks you. Looks up at the platinum, as if he's never seen a piece before, then puts it in his pouch. He goes to find a sword and just hands it to you.
And then I'll get that fucking sheathed up on my back. We are good to go. Don't think it'll be quite as easy as that, but I reckon I'm a killing machine. Oh yeah, I'll get some more. I'll get some javelins as well. Are they 5 silver a piece?
that same blacksmith does have a stock of 11 javelins.
Oh, cracking. I'll just
11?
take
That's so
all
random.
11 off him.
10.
Well, he's made like
Just
a
as
baker's
bad,
dozen.
The OCD
yeah,
in me
I'll-
was like, no, it has to be divisible by 5. What are you talking about, Liam?
I'll take the 10 off him. Is that 5 gold?
Yeah, we'll go for 5. Alright,
Sold.
does anyone else on the team want to buy anything from said blacksmith or marketplace?
I want to see if they have some more salted squid along the way here somewhere.
Oh, you want to head over to the Sapphire Kraken?
He's
Well,
got a hankering.
perhaps later on when we pass
Okay.
there.
Yeah,
because
fair
that
enough.
would be-
That was near the warehouse, so...
Yeah, okay, then maybe later if we pass by.
Okay.
Oh, Mr. Ra, I completely forgot. Your fizzy water.
Oh, well, Did you figure out anything about it? No?
I did, yes.
Oh, yeah, what does it do?
It's fizzy water.
No, the guy told it said it's definitely magical.
Definitely not, I'm afraid, Mr. Ra. My apologies.
Think. I'll just pop the cap off it there and then I'll just drink it just for the sake of it. So
Can you make a Constitution saving throw? No, I'm joking. You're fine. You drink it. And
As if it's something. Do something.
No, it's just a what looks like a vial of water with a slight fizzy nature to it. Yeah, I can never pronounce it. I just fuck up every time halfway through.
I'm not even going to attempt it.
Liam, question:
Yes.
Is there music playing? Because for me, the music's been quiet all the time, and I do have
Yes.
it turned up. Okay, let me reload the page then.
Yeah, there's been music playing.
Yeah, it's just quiet. The music's quiet at the moment.
Oh yeah, I've got it up at max volume. I've got Firefox at max volume, and there's nothing. So
No, yeah, there's music.
I will turn it up for you.
yeah, no, it's okay. It's playing now.
Okay.
Yeah, sound.
Right.
But now you turn it off. Now playing nothing.
I haven't turned it off. Do you want me to stop and play again?
Yes, please. I entered. It was playing, and then you said, "I'll turn it up," and then it just stopped.
Can you hear it now?
Yes, now it's
Gone,
Assassin's
buddy,
Creed
yeah.
Origins main theme.
Yes. There you go.
When I drag stuff from the compendium, why does it go into my offense thing so I can click on it, but it doesn't go into my inventory? Is there a way I can go into there? I've got it tapped
You
up.
don't need to have it there additionally.
I just want to know how many I've got in there. I like the weight. Oh no, you don't. Yeah, it's just ammo up there. There we are. Cracking.
Mm-hmm.
That'll do. Thank
All
you.
right. So, what's everyone's plans? You are now together as a group. Finally, it took 3 sessions, but you are together as a group.
Well, as we're walking, I'll introduce myself to Gwendeth and say, yes, no cousin, but you're welcome here as a fellow dwarf, of course.
I love being welcome to places.
Yes, and what is it that you do exactly?
I'm from a clan of hunters. We hunt dragons. Well, it was we, now it's me.
What happened?
Well, they all died, hunting dragons.
Ah, that seems to be an occupational hazard of the sorts.
Yeah, though usually not all of us die.
Well, you didn't.
Exactly, because I am the best of the best.
That's a good attitude.
I'm gonna kill that dragon, and then I'm gonna reform the clan, it'll be great. Jester's gonna write a book about it.
Is he a prolific writer then?
Yeah, he has written so many books, you'd think with a human lifespan, you wouldn't have the time, but according to Chester, he's written hundreds of them.
Interesting. I'll make sure to check with Atlantics whether we have any of these at the library.
Chester, this is Chester not have anything to say about this.
He's AFK.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. We'll give it to that. Okay, so where are you guys heading?
Well, once we've been through the marketplace to get some supplies for for poor half-naked Macra, and I think it's time to to head in the direction that we think that Earl Sans impersonator would have gone.
Yeah, I mean, it's up to you guys, but you can all make investigation checks if you're looking for a doppelganger in a crowd of about 10,000
Oh no, I mean
people.
we're looking for Earl Sans.
Yeah, okay. Right, make an investigation check.
I don't know who I'm looking for and I don't understand it, so I choose to fail.
You got the opposite of my rule.
That seems about right.
Yeah. Okay, so Lantix and Groldar do indeed find somebody that looks like Eros, but as you approach, he turns, sees you, and goes, and you realise it's not Eros Sant because he doesn't have the same kind of complexion, but a very similar looking elf.
Oh.
And he just goes, "Can I help you?"
Perhaps we are looking for someone who looks a lot like you.
Okay.
Could you please let us know where you live? Just the vicinity is enough. We don't need to know
Quizzataltic.
exact details.
He looks.
That's
really
not a real
perplexed.
word.
I
That
live
is
in.
an area of the city, Gwendeth.
I don't think we're going to get very far with this line of investigation. Why don't we go actually just search his house?
Not yours, mind you. Apologies. That might have been a
Kind
bit
of breaks away from you with his hands out, like, please don't hurt me. I
Thank you
don't
for the
have
information.
anything.
Thank you. We'll be on our way.
Sorry for my manners, braggart.
He just dashes away, like, what the fuck? Confused.
Now, I've heard Chester encouraging you when you say that, but you do realize that's quite rude.
Well, Chester told me to sell. I don't think Chester would lie to me.
I don't think you've heard anything of the sort. The local custom is to politely greet people here, I do believe.
Yes, I'm sure.
I must have misunderstood Chester then.
I believe Chester simply wants to entertain. Is that not right, Chester?
No. Don't hate me because I'm beautiful and talented. Hate me because your respective spouses think so.
He sometimes says these confusing things and I just get lost in his words. But he does say them very prettily.
I'm with you there.
So what are we doing now? Are we fighting some monsters? Slaying some dragons? Freeing some damsels?
No, we're going to go to this Errant Stan's house and see where he's disappeared to.
Well,
Sounds
Why
like
were we
this
looking
way,
for
as
him
far as I'm
exactly?
aware. But you may be onto something, Mr. Ra. It might be wise to at least search his residence.
Aye. Why are we looking for him again exactly?
I would suggest you not worry about it too much, since we went over that before and it seems to have slipped your mind. If you insist, we can explain.
I know exactly why out of character, but I don't think my character was privy to this information. That's why I'm asking. In character.
Yeah, no, I know. And we're like, nope.
Alright, okay. Keep
Now,
to yourself
not
then.
the time, really. We must make haste before he gets too far.
The sun is also setting in roughly an hour and a bit, so it's going to get dark soon.
Oh, I've got a shimmy on there.
Alright.
That would be good.
So we'll skip forward that you guys get the raft across down into Eros's house. The lights inside, of course, are out. The door is locked, and the shutters are all closed as well.
Yes, let's have a look around. See if there's anything open.
Aye.
I'll start checking
Certainly.
if there's any shutters, any...
I'll just go up to the front doors and knock.
Mr. Buckbear, are we breaking into this house?
No, we know the person that lives here.
Because dragons don't fit into that house, it's not big enough.
No, the dragons come later. We're doing this bit first. If that's okay with
I
you.
love how meta that comment was.
No, I can wait for the dragon. As long as it comes
We'll wait for the
eventually.
dragon then. We'll do this stuff and then we'll for say thank you for helping us. We'll go do the
I'm
dragon.
trying to
Yeah.
find an entrance somewhere.
Okay, so as you approach,
Unfailing.
as you approach around the back, Lantix kind of gets. He's got a small garden, a patch where he grows what looks like sort of orange trees, and Lantix just gets lost among the orchard as he's walking around.
He has Petunia lilies. Wonderful.
And however, Grildar, you manage to find that underneath the welcome mat, you go classic. There is a key.
Very well.
Put it in the door, and the door just revealing a darkened interior.
Alright, I head inside and have a look.
Okay, so he's got the usual. He's got a nice round wooden table set to overlook the sea, and on that you see there's an empty clay jug, and the cup is half filled with what looks like wine. You turn to your right and you see there's a kitchen and a half-eaten meal, and the meal itself seems to be maybe a few days old. You see there are some flies buzzing around it. There is a set of steps that when you walk lead to the second floor and the balcony, his bedroom, and the balcony opens onto a flat terrace. And on the terrace is a corked bottle of wine. However, the wine is... What disturbs you more is the wine is a super cheap wine. It's kind of like a purple mash. And as you approach it, you're like, there's no way Eros would drink something like this.
Yeah, clearly.
This one
Okay,
looks
no.
fresher.
Then also look around to see if there's any signs of anything that would link to the escaped people. Some papers that may be lying around with names on it, or things that would seem out of habit for a high-class elf.
Not really.
Backrock and
We're keeping
bang on the door.
Yeah, we're keeping with a 24 investigation check. You don't find anything else, but what you do notice is the place looks too clean, as if someone has cleaned up after themselves.
Yes, well, it seems that someone has been here, either the two mentioned, well, fugitives of the sort that have some relation to your heart-like constructs, or otherwise this might have been a doppelganger, but I don't see why they would need to be so tidy. They can blend in anywhere.
Have I made my way inside at this point?
Yeah,
now,
yeah,
I
you
assume?
you'd realise the door's open. Macro's
I
still
would
knocking
have
on
got to get you after finding the key.
Sorry, then could you repeat that? Because I was daydreaming about Britannia lilies.
Yes. So the place is entirely clean on the inside, and Grilder would have told you that. It seems odd because the doppelganger probably wouldn't have had to clean up after himself since he blends in so easily. That doesn't really make sense to cover your tracks so well. But there's definitely someone else who's been here since there's cheap wine, which would be far below any elven standards, let alone a magister's.
Indeed, indeed. As I said before, he seemed to be making off with a good deal of possessions. Have you noticed anything missing?
It's very hard to notice things missing if you don't know what was supposed to be there in the first place.
Yes. Perhaps signs. Something's moved.
Do you have fine dust with you, Macra? What are you doing?
So stood at the front door trying to get in.
Oh, the front door's open.
Oh, did you come in the front door? Sorry, I missed that bit. I went and go.
No, it's fine. That's exactly what Macra is doing.
Like that's fine. You're just talking. I'll just like shout out. It's open.
Oh, okay. I'll walk in at that point. Go during the conversation.
You have to duck beneath the lintel as you walk in. Yeah.
I was wondering why he kept knocking.
Do you have fine dust of some sort, perhaps, Antics, with you? I know you carry many components for your spells. Do you have anything of the sort?
One moment.
I just
Mr. Ra?
unmuted. Sorry, I muted myself and Discord crashed. It's having a great evening. Go on.
Would you do me a perhaps odd favour? But could you shake?
Shake. You shake something. Shake. He looks at his cock.
No, just shake like a dog.
Wow, that seems very, patronising.
Degrading. Yes.
Yeah, degrading. Yeah.
I didn't know they'd be so racist on this
You'd
continent.
be doing us a great service, though.
I'm like there with my hand out, like expect payment for such services.
What do you want?
If just elaborate further, and I might be more forthcoming with my.
Since
shaking.
they were saying like a dog, Grandeth just takes his hand and shakes it because she assumes he's giving the paw.
God's sake, and I'll start shaking.
Some dust and you see some black dots jump away from him.
There you are, young Master Ironblood.
Do you give it to me like collected dust, or how does this work?
No, it's just there.
Yeah, it just seems to rain in, and like motes of dust catch in the sunlight as the setting sun blazes through the window. It just covers the entire room. This like bugbear dust.
It's the best I can offer, I'm afraid.
We've got a lot of sand in there as well. He likes a sand bath.
That is unfortunately not going to do. I was talking more like something you need fingerprints.
No, unfortunately, I don't really carry a lot of my equipment with me. In fact, most of it belongs to university.
Very well. I'll walk back upstairs, grab the bottle of wine. Be careful to grab it by the base, and leave the top of it untouched. And try and wrap it in some form of cloth. Being very careful not to wrap the top and not make it touch the cloth and wipe it down.
Okay.
So just put it over the top very gently.
Yep.
And then just very slowly put it in my backpack so that it stays there in an upright position without rubbing against things.
Is there any reason that Sans clearly abandoned this place?
It doesn't look like. You can
I imagined it just because it looks like there's not as much shit as what there was here before, and then it looks really clean. It looks like a show home.
Unclear at this point. Well.
I'd still quite like to know why we're here to begin with. What? Obviously, something for us to just rock up and not to be here.
Yes, we heard some stories about what had been happening, and it seems that perhaps he's not quite who he says he is.
Right.
You see, his body had been found some
I
days
was
ago.
wondering why the little bastard was paying so well all of a sudden.
Yes, well, I don't think that's much of a problem for us, but still intrigued to find out what happened.
Aye. Alright then. Well, I guess this lead's dried up. I guess what we've got to do next then, we still need to go speak to our half-orc friend that used to be a tree.
Yes, that or try and find this... What were their names again, Lantix?
Omar and Hroth.
Omar and Hroth, yes.
Aye. That is a
What?
lead, but I imagine that's like needle in a haystack. That's going to be quite difficult. And then I've got Mr. Riptide I need to talk to tomorrow and see if he knows anything about this strange... I'm talking to the group at this point. Hint, hint. The two new characters that I've just started with us and definitely saw this earlier in the session. Our strange gauntlet thing.
A gauntlet? What do you know of such items?
Not much. It's shiny and it makes magic. And I'll point at Laxator. Like he'll be more of an idea of what it is.
At that moment, darkness falls upon you as the sun sets.
Oh, fuck all initiative.
Do explain it, Mr. Lantix. I'm a purveyor of such things. Perhaps I can shed some light.
Hopefully you can. But yes, as Makara says, it's a gauntlet, a device, perhaps magical or technological in nature, that produces... one moment.
He weaves some magic and produces a hard light needle.
It produces these.
Oh. Ah. Wow. Yes. No, never heard of it.
Really? But you said you'd read all my works.
Ah, yes, the shiny spear, of course. Yes, I'm quite familiar with them, but not one of these strange gauntlets. It seems to be some form of new magic. They appear all the time, don't they?
Do they?
Well, I wouldn't say all the time, but you are right. It is very new magic, and one that perplexes me greatly.
Once again, I shed some light on the situation. Ha ha ha!
Okay, so as you guys are talking,
Yes.
Lantix is casting Detect Magic, like, as he's walking around. The spell finishes Lantix, and you detect a single rune on one of the floorboards underneath the carpet, the rug. You can see it glowing.
One moment, young Master Ironblood. I might have something here.
And
What
I'll
have you
go
found?
and kind of like push the rug aside.
Okay, you push the rug aside, and there's like a rune. It's like it's abjuration rune.
Oh, yes, you always did have a finer sense for these. I never quite mastered the affinity with them.
No, I mean,
Of
you
the
had a
math.
specialist field, so understandable. But yes, there does appear to be some kind of conjuration magic here. Or abjuration. I can't remember what the
It was
noise
abjuration.
in my head.
Yeah,
Abjuration,
it was
yeah.
an abjuration, yeah.
I see. I'll look around to see if there's like boards around it.
There is, but it looks like for Lantix, as he peers, it does look like the abjuration rune's magic spreads for about maybe 4 foot by 6 foot around that area.
Can I Arcana or Investigation or anything to
Yes, you can make an Arcana
determine
check.
further?
Macro, come lift this floorboard up.
Nice. Okay, so it is a rune of non-detection. Whatever is beneath this does not want to be spied upon, or noticed.
Well, someone's definitely trying to hide something here. Mr. Ra?
Oh, greatly. Just been bored sniffing around, not really being able much use.
Okay, so I'm assuming
I'll sink my... I don't need a crowbar or any shit. I'll just sink my claws into it
Alright,
and
you're like,
yank.
yeah, bang! And you see the magic begins to ripple, and as you begin ripping the floorboards up, can I have a strength check from you? Maybe you can... Yeah, you can roll athletics. This is kind of like a... Yep, so you begin ripping the floorboards up with your massive weight. And at that moment, Macro, as you rip one of the floorboards up, your hand touches something, and as you move back, you see a face, and then this female face open and goes... Can everyone roll initiative?
Yes!
Yeah.
Got to
Certainly.
find something.
Are you going to put us on a map before?
Yeah, because we
roll
should
initiative?
Yep.
move before rolling.
I was building it with my massive drawing skills.
Oh, no.
Oh, we love a bit of scribblage. Oh, that's quite good actually. It'd be better than what I'd have done.
Yeah, I'm sure it would have.
We
I
know.
was doing it freehand.
We
I
know.
wasn't even bothered with the squares.
Just FYI, in the 10 minutes prior to this, I would have been talking to Gwyneth as the exchange between Lantix and Chess was happening, and just telling Gwyneth about the two that we were looking for.
Yep.
So giving the descriptions as far as we had them, and hopefully Gwyneth had a bell ring, but we'll get to that afterwards.
Yeah.
See, Gwyneth was about to ask you guys if you were just burglars, but thanks to your explanation,
Right,
we
so
have moved past
Macro,
that.
Macro, you were going first, sir.
So as this thing hisses at me and I shit myself, I'll just grab it by the face. Like, "Ugh." Like punishing a cat. Like, no, stop it.
Alright. So, is that like a grapple check, yeah?
Yeah, I'm just grabbing it by the feet and
Right,
grabbing
it just goes and begins trying to like attack you with the claws, and it seems to be buried beneath dirt as well, underneath the floorboards, like partially.
Alright, okay. As long as it's grappled, though, I'm sound. I'll just keep it there.
Yep. Okay. I'm assuming that's your turn to grapple it.
Yeah, I'll just keep it there. I'm not gonna.
Alright.
Oh, I know. Fuck it. I'll rage. I may as well. And
Alright. You let out a roar.
I'll pop one of them as well. Like, yeah, bastard.
I'm
It's
assuming
like-
you grow
like-
massive now as well.
Yeah, boy.
Poof! Your head hits the ceiling.
Yeah, I think I grow to encompass the space if it's not quite big enough to
Okay. Cool.
hold me properly.
All right. So Gwendif then.
I would like to skedaddle here.
Yep.
I would like to have a good look at the thing.
Okay.
Really take it in and declare it as my Slayer's prey.
Okay.
Then I'm gonna shoot it with a bow.
Is it technically still prone, or
He technically is still prone. Yes.
Oh, so I have disadvantage. That's fine. I'll hit anyway.
It's just come out of the ground. And that, my friends, is a hit.
And I do an additional 1d6 because of Slayer's Prey, but I haven't seen it yet. There we go.
Alright, nice. And is this, what are you actually using? What weapon?
A longbow.
Okay, so you draw it back, poof, and you see an arrow sinks into its flesh, but you don't see any blood come out.
I got out this big bow and I just placed it down on the ground because it's too big for me to actually hold. And I just draw it back and arrow right in its face.
Nice. Is there anything else on your turn? That's your bonus action and action, so...
Nope, I'm done.
Alright, so Chester. Chester.
Sorry, I was muted for a moment there. Okay, so I obviously I've never seen this party fight before or anything like that.
Nope.
What does what sort of like weapons can I see on
Big ass hammer on a massive bugbear.
Yep.
Grildar's classic sword and axe, I'm assuming. Sword and axe and shield.
yeah? Except you notice I don't immediately reach for my axe. You see my hand glow up as I enter combat.
And of course the longbow that Gwendif is using.
Okay. So I am going to it's clearly one of the swamp hags. You were there, and I'll point at the big bugbear. Don't swing it like that. Swing it with a 180-degree arc. You'll get much more swing for your wing. And I will.
Yes! Explanabrag! So the next dex attack roll is basically it's an inspiration dice, and you get 3.
I love the start of that description, by the way.
Yeah,
Todd.
Chester launches
Explanabrag.
The Chester launches into some very poor advice. This inspires the player to do the complete opposite, normally to excellent effect. Alright, so to your next so Macro, you basically have an inspiration dice, but it rolls automatically, so you get 3 to a save and throw or an attack roll, etc, etc.
Right. Okay. Cool.
Right, Chester, is there anything else from you?
That's my main action, isn't it?
No,
so
that's your bonus action.
Oh, is it?
Yes.
Well, there we go. I'll cast perhaps a little bit of this.
Nice. That's going to hit everyone, isn't it? No, you can choose.
Yeah, you can hit only
yeah.
that.
Yeah. Remember
Yeah,
to, because the sheets don't do what they usually do in West Marches, remember to put your inspiration dice down, like, manually.
Me?
Yeah. So you now got 2 out of 3, not 3 out of 3.
Oh, yeah, that's fine.
Alright, so she gets to make a dex save. She failed. No, what's your DC?
I am going to just double check that because I can't actually remember.
It's on the main sheet in the middle. Save
Yeah.
DC.
Yep. Just takes ages to me to get the thing up.
Her.
13. God damn it.
Oh man, she just passes.
She's swift. Watch out.
Wait, they're conditions. She's prone. Doesn't give you disadvantage to anything, I don't think. I would check.
And I'll whip out my quill flute and end my turn.
Yep, okay. Nice. Solent, Lantix.
Almost.
Yeah.
He backs up into the corner,
Yep.
pulls out some kind of weird, long, shiny wand with some kind of handle on it, and fires some kind of radiant bolt at the creature.
Yeah. Pew 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 pew. I'm afraid that would have been amazing as well. That
It
was.
would have been amazing max damage.
Yeah, but it just kind of like flies off to the right. Like it does the classic Star Wars sound as it hits the wall.
And as my bonus action, he pulls out a little tiny automata, whispers a few words to it, and then kind of releases it, and it starts floating around him.
Is that the mechanical spider?
No, it's a defense drone.
Oh, the defense drone. Nice. So, yeah, okay. It's the wondrous item, isn't it? You
Yeah.
release a small little drone around you that if you're attacked, it then retaliates?
Yep,
Right. Okay. Is that the end of your turn?
it is.
The Grildar.
Yeah, so this thing looks decidedly unpleasant, so let's make sure that doesn't harm our companions and 4-star it right in the face.
Yeah, okay. The 4-star, however, goes wide and it's thrashing with mackerel.
I do have advantage on the attack, do I not?
Is it ranged?
It's a ranged spell attack on it. So there's
I know
disadvantage.
that. No, I don't have disadvantage on that, but let me check something for the prone condition.
Well, yeah, if you're within 5 feet, you have advantage, but it's also a ranged attack, and the creature
Yes,
is prone.
but I
You have
don't have
disadvantage.
disadvantage. No.
Oh, so you ignore the prone condition?
Because when you kind of ranged, you don't have disadvantage on the attack roll.
Oh,
So it's
look
just
at that.
So I don't have disadvantage ever from
Yeah,
being
okay.
in melee, and so I have advantage, right? Because it's prone.
Yeah.
There's no reason why I wouldn't have advantage.
I thought you only got advantage if it was melee.
No,
Within
it's
5 feet.
5 feet,
Fair enough.
which is normally melee.
So
but-
that's 12 force damage, yeah?
Ah, I like it.
It
I like
is,
the look.
yes.
Yeah, that actually makes sense. I like it.
Alright, 12 force damage. And the 4-star hits her clean in the chest. She does not look happy with that.
And then as my bonus action, I'll use
That's
my
all I
weaker
do,
phantom grapnel to like hook it in.
Hook what in?
The creature. I'll just hook it again. Shoot my phantom grapnel at it.
Okay, yeah.
Yank it towards me.
I've currently got hold of it.
Yeah, that's fine. It doesn't actually
fair
yank it
enough.
because it's
It's just
next to it anyway.
automatic.
Do you have to roll a hit with that?
I do. I
It's
think.
not like part of the
No.
roll, is it? So
No.
you
Not
pull
sure.
the. Yeah, yeah.
No, I don't think so. It's part of like one of the major like feats that you pick as part of the class. Gives this option I think before the Phantom Hook Shot.
There's no save throw. No saving or anything like that.
It just does auto damage and is a saving throw to resist the movement.
Yeah, exactly. And the damage is normally very low. It's normally 1d6, but because I picked this one,
I don't know. It's
so this adds my intelligence modifier, and then I also have this, which ups the damage by 1 sub. So normally it would be 1d6 damage.
mm-hmm.
But now
It's
1d8
auto
plus
damage. That's weird. Nothing ever does that except like magic missile.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll have to deal with that later. I don't like the fact that it just does auto damage, though. Right, is there anything else? Because that's like a bonus action for like a decent amount of damage that always hits. It's surely the save should be.
Alright, Lance. Fuck it. Do it later. I can't be asked. Let's go.
But I'd like the save to actually maybe save or nothing.
Yeah, we'll talk about it later. It's fine.
Because it's a cantrip. That's what cantrips normally do. Right, okay, so it struggles against Makra, doesn't try to get away from you, but will try to attack you.
Do it, little bitch.
What's your AC? Not that.
Actually, no, off the top of my head. 15.
Alright, so what happens is the first one goes wide, and very wide, and she kind of like struggles, and you push her down. The next one, however, finds your throat as she just scrapes across it for 10 slashing damage.
Oh, bitch.
Getting
5. It's the first bit of damage of 2 core campaign.
Yeah, and then she reaches up, grabs your arm, and sinks her fangs in, and you take 6 piercing damage and 3 necrotic damage.
6 piercing, that goes down to 3, and how much necrotic, sorry?
Yep, 3, and your maximum hit point is reduced by 3.
Oh, then 3 necrotic as well,
Yeah.
then, and then my max is reduced by 3. What the fuck are we fighting already? It's not a vampire, is it? It's reducing max life.
Alright, so she is stuck where she is. Macro, it's your turn.
It ain't fucking is. Right, you little bitch. Fucking bastard sword is unleashed. As I'm holding her with one hand and fucking shanking her with the other hand.
And that is a hit.
12
You notice her flesh is rather tough. It's like really leathery hide.
So she's resisting some shit. And then I don't think I have any bonus actions, you know? No,
I don't think you
that's
do.
been, no, that's been done, so thank you.
Okay.
Have I got an end turn button? No, I haven't.
No, it's fine. We don't do that. Gwendith.
I'm gonna use Zephyr Strike to give myself advantage, which negates the... I don't think she got up, did she?
No, she couldn't.
Oh, okay.
Her speed 0. She can't stand up.
So I don't have disadvantage anymore, at least,
Nope.
and then I'm gonna shoot her with a bow. And I deal another d6 from Slayer's Prey.
Alright. Nice. So yeah, you notice that the arrow sinks in, protrudes out of her shoulder,
And then I end my turn.
and there's like a whoosh afterwards as the force damage hits her.
I'm so sorry for breaking into your home.
As you shoot her with an arrow.
Well,
Okay.
look, she's hideous.
Yeah, Chester, it's your turn.
Haha. You, my good witch, are the ugliest and most wonderful being to ever grace this planet.
I fucking hate this so much. Right.
The
She
complex
fails! She fucking fails!
Yeah.
I just write it as the accomplice slut.
I also read it as that.
Yep.
It's complisalt. A compliment and an insult all in one. Right, is there anything else you'd like to do?
Do I? Yeah, go on. You there, dwarf? You're not using your shield right. Bash it, bash it! Oh, he's got 1 dice. What a fucking shite.
To be fair, the way that we're going to use inspiration is they get to roll it. This was for the cutting words feature, so
Yeah.
they can roll it like a d6 themselves. It's when you go to use cutting words, you click this and it'll roll it for you. So
Yeah, sounds good.
You've only got 1 explanatory frag left now.
I've just edited it. Yeah, it's all good.
All right, cool. Let's Lantix's go.
Well, I was never very good at firing these things, so I'll put it away. And then he speaks some words and kind of resummons a glass-like version of one of them in front of him, which shoots at the creature.
Okay. Nice. First level spell. Alright, you wave your hand and conjure a sophisticated arcane weapon. Oh, nice. It's basically a laser gun, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a hard light laser gun.
Yeah, nice. So you go, and as it strikes her in the face, it just leaves a hole in her cheek, and she just kind of turns to look at you, speechless.
And then as the bonus action, I'll Get the defense drone to target her,
Okay.
which is a miss. With a 5, I assume.
Mhm.
That's me.
Yep. Right, Grildar.
Yes. I'll force out it again. Wow, them rolls. I assume a 13 is a miss.
A 13 is a miss, I'm afraid, as you bring it up and then fling it down.
Yep, that's fine. And I'll just move over here.
Alright, cool. So you move
That's
to
my
flank
turn.
her.
Yep.
Alright, she stops her panicking, thinks more about what's her situation. She stops struggling, grabs hold of your wrist, Makra, closes her eyes, and she blinks out of existence for a moment and then reappears here in between you two. That was a bonus action. And the magic seems to be weird. It's like the time around her slows and then fastens back up. And she reappears and turns and goes for a slash against Chester, a slash against Gwendith.
I have an AC.
How much AC do you have, Gwendith?
16.
Okay, she manages to strike you for 8 slashing.
How dare she?
And Chester, what's your AC?
13, I do believe. I will triple check because it's all brand new.
Yep.
Goddamn sheet. 13.
13. Okay, it misses as you duck and you go, ha! And then she just sinks her teeth into your wrist for 4 piercing and 8 necrotic.
Ouch.
And your maximum hit points is reduced by 8.
Ouch.
Mine as well, or just his?
Just his.
On the bite.
It was from the bite.
Ah.
That's her turn. Macro.
Yeah, crafty bitch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'll grapple her again.
Okay, make a check. As you go to move towards, she does hiss words. She says, when I'm done with you, your friends will be dead too.
Right, okay. Yeah, that's nice. Come with me. 17.
Okay. One a moment. Yep, you managed to grapple her.
I'll just double check my movements. 30. Ugh. I'll just drag it. Oh, when you're grappling someone, you can move them anywhere around you, can't you? So technically, I can just suplex her back over here. So I'll do that. I'll drag her so she's over there. Just grab her and then drag her over to the other side. I'll stay where I am.
Oh yeah, okay, I'll allow that. So you move her towards Grilda.
Yeah. I'll just like get over there.
So like Gwendith and Chester see the creature being lifted up, hoisted up, and just slammed over.
Yeah. And just fucking stay there. And then that's the end of my go.
Gwendith.
Is she still prone?
No.
She won't be now, no.
Okay, I'll move here, and I'll say,
My friends are dead already, though.
then I'm gonna shoot her with my bow.
Yep. Nice, that's a hit.
For 10.
Okay.
Then I end my turn.
Alright, Chester. Are you muted, Chester?
Yeah.
Sorry, it took me ages to get back onto Discord. Yes.
You are hurting badly.
Never fear. I've been in worse scrapes before. I took on an ancient dragon once and it barely touched me. And I will... you stay there, big man. And I'll have a little dip around past, or peer between Makra's legs.
Mm-hmm.
And I will, I think... Yes, I think I will. Yeah, bugger it. Cha-choom. Make a suggestion.
Oh shit, what is the suggestion? Fuck.
Put your head between your... Are they knees? And kiss your ass goodbye.
Oh no, she failed! She just
Let's
turns
go.
to look at you and says, okay. She will waste her action doing that next turn.
That's how you do it, gents.
Fuck's sake.
And I'll end my turn.
Right. Fuck's sake. Lantix.
Keep it nice and simple. He just summons forth a hard light needle and projects it towards her now gaping arsehole.
She hasn't done it yet, but...
And then
Right.
trigger the defense drone.
Yeah, you kind of like summon
Which also
forth
misses.
the hard light needle. It just goes tink. You know that kind of moment in Shaun of the Dead when the dart hits the guy in the cheek? That's kind of what you just done. It just goes sink straight into her cheek. She's like, ah.
Ew. That's me.
Alright, Grilda.
Yep, just some more force starting.
That's a hit.
That's better.
What does your 4 starting look like?
It looks surprisingly quite a lot like Lantix's Hardlight Needle, except that it's not actually a physical object that gets conjured. It just looks like a little long, very thin spike. So it doesn't even like get thicker or anything. It's just one long little spike. It's like a long needle, maybe twice or 3 times the size of a normal needle, and then just made out of like fluorescent yellow bluish energy and just shoots forth.
Okay, so
Alright, so as it hits her in the chest, she goes, "Kuh!" Is that the end of your turn?
It is.
Right. You notice that some of the wounds, you see the hard light needle and fall to the ground. You see some of the wounds regenerating, and then she rolls quite a high acrobatics check and kisses her own ass.
fuck's sake.
She literally bends over and goes, "Mwah!" And then you notice, Chester, that your concentration ends the moment she's done it. She goes, "Fuck!"
Flexible.
Macro, it's your turn.
It's fucking rehealing. You need to kill it quicker. Why have we got a party full of ranged? I want knock her prone, but it's just gonna fuck everybody else. I'll just twat her instead, I guess.
What, with the bastard sword?
Yeah,
Alright. Yeah, that's a hit.
12 then, and that's me done.
Yeah, you like, whoa, on a big wide arc, hit her in the chest, clean with at least 3 foot of the blade straight through her, but it only seems to go an inch in, and as you pull it out, you don't see any blood leak from her torso.
Fuck's sake.
And now at this moment,
It's starting to piss me
you're
off.
all been in battle for maybe 12 seconds. You know, she does have like a tabard and like levers, and she does seem to have like a uniform on. She's not just like a creature in tatters or anything. Gwendef.
Watch out, she's using some sort of weird martial arts. I'm gonna shoot her with a bow.
Alright. And roll your d6. Nice. And the arrow sinks into her butt.
And I'm gonna skedaddle over here.
Okay.
Right, my turn.
We're back to Chester. Chester.
Oddles.
It's every time.
I am here. I'm just editing all of the names of my spells and laughing at myself. With a dip between Macra's legs. Excuse me. Pop myself here. These are all 5 feet squares, yeah?
Yep. You would have to move out of her range and provoke an opportunity if you did that. You'd have to go here and then move out.
We'd have to go
No.
all the long way around. I don't think you've got the movement for that, have you?
If I go here, will she be able to get me?
No, because then you'll be in melee range with her.
Step back, gentlemen. And pull out a small ball from inside his pockets and throw it at the floor, and all of a sudden,
I don't know what's
God's sake, character sheet.
I don't know what's about to happen.
Just hear a
I'm so
pew, pew.
It's Thunderwave, isn't it?
It is.
I fucking knew it.
Do you mind me editing these names, or would you prefer me if I just kept them as they were?
They're fine, as long as I know what they are. Like Illusion
Yeah.
Believer, kind of. I know that's a Thunderwave, and you can aim the Thunderwave currently now, so it doesn't hit your allies.
That's why I moved there. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, she fails the saving throw.
Take that.
Nice.
12 confetti damage.
And it knocks her back 10 feet.
Oh,
Is
that's
that out of my
really-
grip as well, for
Yep.
God's sake.
I thought I'd just pat Macro on the arm.
She goes-
Thought you need a little help. Ah,
For fuck's sake.
She just lands against the wall and slides down. She just looks up and there's like this look of fear in her eyes. Like, oh shit, I can't handle this. But it is your
Fucking
go.
hell, that's when she
Tactics.
runs away.
He has another pop with the repeater. Hey! Much better.
Lantix, how do you want to kill her?
Non-lethally.
I mean, there's nothing very lethal about the repeater.
Shoot
It's
her in
just
the
a
knee.
laser blast through the face.
And it's radiant, right?
In the knee.
It's ranged. You can't non-lethal.
You can
range.
only do non-lethal with non-magical melee
Yep.
weapons.
So,
Ah,
Alright.
there is another weapon that has non-lethal range damage from thingy, but I don't have it.
wow, so
Non-lethal damage.
how do you kill her with a laser beam?
Stunner.
Yeah, just literally shoot her in the face.
Yeah, okay, so as it hits her, she goes and falls to the ground, bursts into ash, into a pile of ash that then just kind of hits the ground. Alright, I'm back over.
Potent.
And,
Aye, fucking
Realtar
potent.
and Macro make
Yes.
intelligence checks.
Doesn't look like we're fucking questioner now, does it? I just think I was trying to stop.
Really? I'm gonna whisper you something.
How much is?
I
Just a
honestly
straight
didn't
intelligence.
think It would do
Yeah.
not that well.
Yes, well,
No, my fucking token goes small again. Ah, there we go.
it
Well-
seems that we haven't quite encountered, but we've seen one of these before.
You have?
What? Yeah, what is
Well,
it?
whatever remains of it anyway. You remember the pile in the corner in the warehouse, McCraw?
Ah, that
the
explains
same
it us
stuff.
then.
Yeah,
What is it though?
Alright, so Macro,
Wow.
back in the warehouse, you did find a pile of ash, like something had been incinerated.
Yeah, yeah. So it's obviously one of these, but I don't know what one of these is. What is one of these? What is it?
That's a good question, Lantix.
Can I make a check?
Isn't
You
it a
can.
human female?
What check would you like?
I would make an Arcana check.
What creature is this? It seemed to shrug off a lot of the hits
Alright,
quite
I'm
well.
gonna whisper you something, Lantix, and then you can make your judgment.
It was biting us. It's not a vampire. I really hope it's not a vampire. That'd make an awful vampire.
It's certainly not a full-fledged one, I wouldn't have thought. But, it's certainly of the same ilk, for sure.
Can it contract vampire AIDS-ism?
yes, yes, most definitely.
From a lesser creature like this, I would suspect not.
Oh,
But it might be best to get yourself checked to the temple.
yeah. Yeah, that's a good idea. Oh, yeah, again, check the temple. Yeah, just flashed right. It's the last time I was in the temple getting a physical examination.
Yeah, a physical examination.
I have heard of creatures like these being used before as assassins.
But one's buried beneath the floorboards underneath a non-detection shield, surely not.
Well, I mean, that lends itself to the assassin role.
Yeah, if I was an assassin, I'd hide behind a non-detection spell.
Well, it didn't seem to be hiding, it seemed to be buried there against its will, no?
No, as in,
I think it was hidden away.
they're generally controlled by something, perhaps a more powerful version. So it could be the creature that controls it was
Ah.
hiding it.
That makes more sense.
It's more a tool than a thing itself, so to speak.
Can I just check the spot where it was hidden?
Yep, you can make an
If there's-
investigation check.
If there's anything like underneath it or... I'm
It's
not
somehow
proficient in
plus that,
investigation, but it's not a wisdom skill, so I have +1.
It's not difficult, but she had some belongings underneath there. There is 2 daggers, a set of bracers. It looks also like something wrapped in fine leather. And as you open it, there's a golden seal of some sort in it. The seal itself has glyphs on one side, not magical or anything, just like writing, like glyphs. And then when you turn it over, the seal looks very plain, but it has the image of an eye on it.
Chester, you know people, look at this.
Ah, I'll have a look. And as he's handing it to me, I'm just scribbling in a notebook, like mumbling to myself, like, dip through the fetid, hideous bugbear's legs and shot the strange light pistol at the giant Tarask, slaying it with one fell swoop. Ah, yes, of course. I'll have a look.
Fucking Tarask.
I'll put the book away. Ah, yes, I've seen this before. Many a time, in fact. This appears to be one of those, strange devices used for contacting nefarious people.
Obviously.
You know, what we were saying before, assassins.
Is anybody else getting the idea that he's not got a fucking clue that he's talking about? Is that just me?
I'm getting the idea, not so much. I've had this idea for some time now.
Alright, okay. As usual, I'm a bit slow to the mark.
Mr. Makra, please don't tell me you plan to homeschool your children.
No. No, I don't.
He says so many things I just don't understand.
Right, yeah, we've got leads and everything now of what we can do. We've got piece of paper. Why the fuck are we continuing to do this if our contact's been killed by vampires? He was the one paying us. What the fuck do we get paid by now?
Do you have much better things to do with your time, McGrath?
We're getting paid?
Yeah, getting paid. Yeah, exactly. Not just fanning around looking for vampire lords, apparently.
I thought we were looking for dragons.
That's after. No, seriously. I'm happy to continue on, but we're going to need some compensation for that. I've got kids feed.
Well, we just obtained quite a large sum of money. Surely you haven't spent it all.
It's really guilty. His new bastard sword's like, well, no, but I was expecting more after.
Well,
what I'm saying is we need to ransack this place, and if we get some gold...
Lantis keeps trying to talk, and Macross just...
Oh, I'm sorry. Go on, Lantis, I do apologise.
I've been thinking this for a while. Did we just burglarize this place, kill the only inhabitant, and are you now suggesting to steal the furniture?
We've not burglarized it yet. But Lantix, as you were saying, sorry.
Yes, thank you. I know it's quite difficult with my stature, but as I was saying, I can't offer you a great deal, but I am intrigued to get to the bottom of this mystery, as it seems to pertain to my own magical devices. I would be willing to pay you something for your troubles.
No, you're speaking my language. Alright then, let's get this done then, and then we'll go kill some dragons, yeah? And I'll try to give the little dwarf a fist bump.
May
I return the fist.
Oh, Discord's lagging. Bear with me one sec while I reconnect. Don't you guys just love the Discords?
Oh, down for everyone then.
Hey, Discord! So good!
That was a delight.
Like I said, bear with me 1 second. I
fisted the dwarf. No.
Camera is on, just Discord thinks the camera is not on.
Yeah. It's all good. Right.
I don't think I'll come back today. Discord.
Yes, may I have a look at that, Gwendith?
What?
The
No,
leather-bound thing you found in there.
Oh, I gave it to Chester. He knows things.
May I, Mr. Decker?
Yes, be careful. These things need to be handled with care. Of course, a man of your intelligence can do so. Ha 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 ha.
Naturally, of course.
I'll hand it over. I wouldn't trust Makra with it. I could eat a bowl of alphabet soup and shit out a smarter statement than whatever he just said a second ago.
So it's some kind of runes or something and glyphs, Liam.
Yes. It's not magical. You can tell that just by a quick glance. However, it is some sort of like... Grildar holds up a seal in his hand that he's got from Eros, like permission to do investigations and stuff. It's very similar to that, but on a smaller scale. Like Eros's Sant's seal is like a magister seal. It's more like a small silver and gold book. That's what it looks like. And when you open it, it's got like his documents inside. This is just a single gold jewel with a painting of an eye in the middle.
Okay, so it's not actually lettering or anything.
Yeah, on the back there were some glyphs. Yeah, like lettering. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I may have some thoughts, but it'll take some time. What's our next course of action?
Half orc girl, but I've got a sneaky feeling that Mr. and Sant as well, the doppelganger might have had a word with her already. I just hope she's not dead already. I reckon we do that before the night's over. Oh, my tea's going cold as well, bastards. Alright, come on.
Shall we head there? If you
Yeah.
could give me some time, I'll catch up with you momentarily.
Alright, cracking. You, and he'll point to the really annoying bard. You make sure he stays safe. We'll
You
go
can
away.
never trust anyone more than you can Chester Decker.
Yes, exactly. It's why we're leaving you with this really important. Yeah.
I need some peace and quiet for my work, so feel free to go on. But thank you. I appreciate the sentiment.
Alright, okay. Come on then. And then we'll make our way to so we can interview. Can we have a break? Because I need a wee. Or how long we could planning to go on for?
We're planning to go on for
hour?
like another 50 minutes, so...
Oh, nice. Make it an hour and you've got a deal.
Alright, go. Everyone will take a 5-minute break, everyone, and we'll be right back.
I'm
What?
We're back. After defeating the vampire in the floorboards of Eros Sant's house, you guys are deciding to go where?
To talk to our half-orc friend before she gets assassinated.
Alright, so you're headed straight to the House of Answers.
Yes.
Alright, so you guys rushing or taking your
Yes.
leisurely time?
Something in between the two.
I was hanging back.
Lantix, what was that?
I said, I'm taking my time because I was hanging back for a little while.
Okie dokie. And you were hanging back to do what?
Gonna make an attempt at reading this glyph thing.
Alright. Let me look at a character sheet to see if what to roll.
Well, before a roll, essentially, as an amoeboid, I can touch a creature and assume its form.
Yep.
And when I do, I understand its languages.
Okay.
So if she understood it, theoretically I should understand it.
Okay. Does it specifically understand its languages?
Yep.
Okay, so...
Also use your action to touch a creature and assume its... You
Did
gain the
you-
ability to speak and understand that creature's languages.
But you never touched the creature.
I'm going to touch the creature now.
It's a pile of ash.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll let it happen. Because just to confuse it, it's a pile of ash. So, right, but okay,
Yeah,
you
I
can...
mean, I assume it's the equivalent of its dead form. It's no different to touching a dead elf or something.
Other than it has no form.
Whereas it's a pile of ash.
Yeah, I mean, I could turn into a pile of ash. I'll still understand its language.
Okay, we'll let it happen. So you touch it, you get a feel for its form, and while the rest of the group are just moving on, you quickly turn into it. You look down at your hands, you see the claws, you see like the whole pale blue flesh. But as you look at it, you realise that you understand the individual characters. However, this is a code. This isn't a language.
Mm-hmm.
It's like
I'll
a language
make
with
at
a
least
code.
note of. Yeah, I'll at least make a note of the what I decipher in terms of just raw words,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
and then I can do my investigation properly later into trying to decipher a code.
Yep. Perfect.
So once that's done, I'll drop the form.
Mhm.
Actually,
You're gonna scare someone.
this is where it's problematic because I now need to go find a gnome to touch.
Seriously?
Yep.
Why are you not carrying around a fucking gnome's foot with you? Lucky gnome foot.
Because I'm a wizard and I have invisibility, so I do that.
Oh, this is difficult. So you cast invisibility. Fair enough.
Yeah, and then I'll catch up to them and find a gnome along the way.
Right.
To prod.
Right. Make a perception check.
I'm sure in a city this size, I should be able to find something.
Yep. Slow. Yeah, definitely. And as you are moving along, you just brush across a rather wiry-looking gnome with a big red beard.
Yeah, well, I'll reassume my gnomish form and then drop the invisibility and catch up to them.
Okay. Do you actually look like the new gnome, or can you just assume the race?
No. I mean, I've taken some artistic liberty to make it work in this campaign.
Yeah, fair
but
enough.
essentially, what I assume the way it works is I assume a. So if I touch like a male elf, I will become a male elf version of me.
Yeah.
No matter which male elf I touch. If I touched a female
Yeah,
elf, it would be
that
a
makes
female
sense.
version, but it's me each time, if that makes sense.
Yep. Yeah.
But then I do have the amoeboid racial feat that allows me to assume their form perfectly for 10 minutes, like the disguise spell.
Aha. Okay. Yeah. So I get it. I like it.
But
And you
yeah,
catch up with
normally I just assume like a general form that's a bit more amorphous and blobby.
Mm-hmm.
But for the sake of making it work in this, I think it's probably better if it works that way.
Yep. And you catch up to them just at the raft, and you guys climb on, and the slave pulls you over to the marketplace, which, by the way, now is totally closing up, and the nightlife has been to come in, the ale houses and the outside drinkeries, and you can see that the Ascension Day preparations are in full swing as the middle of the marketplace is being cleared of all stalls so the courtyard can overlook the moonlit shield. Behind you, you see the Mercenary Guild is out on storm, going, "You want to fight? Of course you want to fight! The Hippodrome needs fighters for entertainment. Glory and gold is all of yours!"
Glory, you'd say?
Shit, I completely forgot to train for that.
And the half-orc turns towards you, smacks his fist into his open palm and says, "Much glory will be had."
Glory.
All of the glory.
The what now, Dome?
The Hippodrome.
It strikes me, good man, that you need a hero for your ranks.
We do. And he clicks his fingers, and a halfling runs up with a ledger and says, "What's your name, sir?"
Oh, no, just perusing. I'll see you around.
Oh, the half-orc goes, "Hold on a minute, hero. Do you want to kill monsters? Do you want to perhaps slay a dragon in the arena?"
Wait, what?
He kind of looks towards you and goes, "Ah, I see I've piqued your bloody interests."
Oh, thank goodness.
Now get to the point. What's the dragon's name? Is it El Diablo?
Yeah. You can roll insight if you want.
Gwendef says, "Massive raging stiffy."
He has no clue. He just goes, "It's a devil of sorts."
It's not El Diablo.
No, but the champion is a devil.
Put the name down. Just
I'm sure they call him El Diablo where he comes from. He is Asian.
I can't just kill any El Diablo. It's not the same if he hasn't killed my entire family.
you can help me kill him. Since when did they have registrations? When did they start? I just rocked up last time.
No.
I'll certainly sign up if my new best friend Macra signs up.
Yeah, the halfling goes, no, of course, it's a rather popular this year, so you're going to have to sign up and get yourself in. First round is called the 6-on-1s. The second round is called Monster Mash. And then the third round is the Ring of Fire.
Oh, fucking fire. Right, okay, yeah, yeah. Gwendif, how do you spell that?
It's like death, except not, because I'm not dead. So no A.
I'm going to start calling you Death. That'd be quite cool.
What
is very
exactly are
cool.
the rules of this competition, pray tell?
Well, 6-on-1, Grildar, I'm sure you understand, is the execution round, where each of you will be pitted against 6 slaves. You die, and they go free.
Are we killing the slaves?
Well, yeah. Well, they're criminals.
I can't just kill slaves.
Well, they're going to be executed anyway. Why not for the glory of the Empire?
Do you have like a list of what they did?
Well, most of them are murderers, thieves, and rapists.
Yeah.
I mean, there's
rapists.
like a scale there, though. If like the guy murdered someone, sure, I'll kill him. But if he just like stole a loaf of bread, I wouldn't kill him.
Oh, never.
Yeah,
Loaf of bread is, losing the hand.
Yeah, hand off. Yeah.
But if so I know that all of these did really bad things, yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
they're
yeah,
all
of
rapers
course,
and
of
murderers.
course.
Well, I wouldn't join in otherwise.
Okay, sure, I'll kill some people.
Yeah, and if you make it that round, you get the Monster Mash, where you and your partners get to fight a monster, and if you make it past that, whoever survives takes on the Ring of Fire. All the survivors in a Ring of Fire, battling out to the death.
So these monsters, did they also steal things, or like what are we talking
Look,
about?
I'm getting fed up of this. And then the halfling goes, "Let me handle this, please." Look, the monsters are obviously of evil alignment normally, and they are captured outside of the city, dealing trouble to, the Theboans or the Artenians and stuff like that.
But see, I've just met Macra here, and Macra hasn't killed anyone yet, and all I know about them is that they kill people.
Oh,
So
him.
that has...
Yeah, but it's all fine, except this last round. When did it change that it was to the death? I thought it was to the...
He narrows his
The
eyes and
first
goes, "No, it's always to the death. If you're afraid of death, just get some health insurance." The clerics. He goes, that's when the halfling goes, 500 gold pieces for curing between rounds and a revivify once upon death.
Right, okay. As long as I'm just not killing them all, and they're all just going to die stupidly.
Oh no,
that's
if they
fine.
haven't got health insurance, sure, they're dead.
Yeah, no, then it's their own fault at that point. Yeah, no, yeah. Put our names down. We'll be fine.
Hey, what's your name?
Makara.
Mac-Ora. And your town of residence, please.
He's just trying to think of like the nicer places in the city, like he doesn't have to drop on. Just put the docks on there.
You live at the common docks?
That's where I work.
Fine. Makra of the common docks. And you, fine dwarf.
I'm Grandeth Redfoot.
Grandeth Redfoot. And what town do you hail from?
Red Hill.
Ooh, that's out of town. That's out of city.
That's out of continent.
Oh, perfect. What continent? Never mind.
I don't know what you guys call my continent.
Gwendef of out of continent. Brilliant.
And put me down, good man.
Okay. Can we all sign like Gwendef of out of continent?
Ah, there you all are. What have I missed?
We're fighting to the death.
What?
This lot seems to be interested in participating in the Hippodrome.
Glory
Oh,
and
really?
honour, such befitting heroes as ourselves.
Hold yourself, gnome! How about you? You look magically inclined. Wizards and sorcerers and druids are always welcome in the arena. Bit of flash, a bit of pizzazz. Get some of that glitter going. Get some of that magic flying.
I've seen the Hippodrome. It's less pizzazz, more blood and death.
Fantastic, isn't it? What about you, Chester, then?
Ah, yes. Put me down. Chester Decker. Hero. Slayer of dragons.
Slayer of dragons.
I didn't realise
Ender.
we were putting fake wrestling names down.
Ender?
Can I have another cooler one?
Ender of the Isolde Capular werewolf. I've travelled, you know.
Werewolf, sorry. I'll get that later. Excellent. And he's wrote your name down. And you hail from where?
Everywhere, my good man.
I got
Aha.
write this down
Parts of
on
the
a
name.
handout so I don't forget it for the actual session.
Very well, very well. I hail originally from the city of Bridges, Longinia, Million Islands.
Ah, a Bretonian. Alright, so
And don't you forget it.
arena notes. Let's just copy paste these. Perfect. Alright, cool. He goes, perfect. So, just so you know, make it past the first round and you survive. That's 25 gold piece for slaying the criminals. Monster Mash ups your reward to 250. And winning the Ring of Fire, which I highly doubt you will, earns yourself 4,000. You got that?
Nice.
Oh, yes, I can already see it now. Whips open notebook, starts making notes.
Just so you know, Darioso will be the champion this year. And if you can kill him, well, the 4,000 gold pieces are yours.
Who is this Darioso?
Bill just chuckles.
You can make, even everyone knows of this fellow, but the finer details are a little bit, shadowed slightly. So everyone knows that he was once a pirate in the pirate fleets of New Atlantia. And after, winning fame and glory by being a badass, he become basically a glorified bodyguard to the ambassador Amelie Tinker III.
Well, I know him.
Naturally you do.
Great man, but nothing next to me.
Well, as long as we have Chester on our side, we basically can't lose. So this
Of
seems
course.
like a safe bet.
I have stared down void dragons and defeated them myself.
See, I don't even know what a void dragon is, but Chester has killed a dozen of them.
Yes, I'm certain he has, and I'm certain he's going to win this arena.
A baker's dozen.
Keep in mind that with you lot signing up with the three of you, at best one of you is going to survive the final round. You understand that, yes?
Oh, I'm fully aware.
Oh, did we all fight to the death? I wasn't aware of that. Can I drop out after the second round?
The halfling slams the ledger and goes, "See you there!" And they both run off.
You can drop out after any of the rounds.
Yeah, you can.
Oh, that's great, because I don't want to kill Chester.
Well, yeah. It's free sign up this year as well, which seems pretty
Necessarily, you don't they don't go off to finish you in the arena, you know. Like, if you're killed, you're killed. But no, when you're knocked down, no one's gonna put a sword in you. Just they're gonna be more focused on winning the round rather than unless
Might
you
have a
cause them.
traditional
Yeah, they do actually have that. The God King will survive. Like, say it was you and Darioso at the end, Macra, and he managed to defeat you, and he just kind of like had you at 0. The God King would give him the yes or the nay. Or the God King, in his good gracious, might extend the decision towards a visiting ambassador or a noble to decide, depending on how well you fall.
So basically, you're fucked.
I'm fully expecting him be a level 10 Bob and get wrecked, but we'll give it a go.
Right. Okay, so you guys discussing this as you're heading towards the House of Answers. And you also know that if you did want to sign up as well, there is a chariot race in the morning. None of you have a chariot, and I don't think any of you have proficiency with land vehicles, so I wouldn't...
Yeah, any of us used to be a soldier. I did, but I've not got the proficiency in...
so Grildo would actually be a great choice.
I've taken other things. I've taken cook's utensils, carpenter's tools, and drums.
Yeah, fair enough.
I also have the drums.
Instead of some languages and tools, I've taken these instead.
Oh my god, we can play the drums together, brother.
Well, I don't think in character that we discussed this, but when we get there, sure.
Right, we need to keep... We're very easily distracted. We need to hurry up and make sure our half-orc friend's not been assassinated.
Alright, so you approach the House of Answers, and there's a long red stone bridge that leads over to the House of Answers. And Chester notices that the brickwork is very, very Bretonian. It's kind of like imported red bricks baked. And as you approach the bridge, you see there are Inquisitors wearing their anamorphic-type masks lining the bridge. It's maybe about 12 either side, and they all have glaives and shields on their back. The Inquisitors of the Mokhul Empire are feared because they are rumoured to be able to read surface thoughts and tell a lie just by looking in your eyes. And as you walk past them all, at the far end, they form a kind of arrow point to funnel you towards one of them, who's wearing a jackal head. And as he lifts his faceplate, you see a scarred face and piercings dotting his lips, like maybe 5 along the bottom. And he has a long beard, braided, waxed, that forms a nice long point. His skin is kind of like an oiled bronze colour. And as you approach, he goes, doosh, doosh, and his glaive slams down onto the red brick. State your business.
We're here to talk to the prisoner that was a tree, and is now no longer a tree.
Who are you, and what authority do you have to enter the House of Answers?
I am Macron, this is Grildo Ironblood, this is Laxington here. We've got Chester Dicker, and then Gwendif. We are on authority of Sant. And I'll pull out the piece of paper where there's authorization on it to investigate.
Alright, so you pull out the seal and then hand it over. He brings out his left hand, looks at it, turns it over with one hand, looks to the rest of the guards, and as if exchanging some sort of thought that ripples through them all, they all just take their places again on the platforms either side of the bridge. And he looks at it, hands it over to you.
Thank you.
My apologies, sir. Go about your business. And goes back to his position.
That's fine.
The House of Answers is a very large, foreboding, evil-looking building. All square blocks and just right angles and built for defence. Hardly any windows, but where you do see windows, there's either arrow slits or just bars. And you notice this place is obviously a holding cell for prisoners and important political figures. And there is one single tower in the centre that spirals up with the only semblance of architecture that could be said about the building, as all the brickwork seems to be angular like steps on the outside. And indeed it is. Prisoners are marched up to the cell at the top, important prisoners, through the banisterless outside and marched up to the top at spear point normally. And if they fall, so be it. That type of thing. Many rumours have gone around. Many people tend to fall from those stairs. And as you walk under the portcullis, there's 3 layers of portcullis until you get to one big wooden door that's opened and it's studded with rivets. And as you walk into the main hall, it's unnervingly cold. The temperature drastically drops in here. And at one stark Spartan desk is a man staring at you wearing the mask of an owl. His hair is bald except for one single wolf tail that kind of like goes up at an angle at one side, and he has no papers on his desk, nothing. He just has his hands steeped together as you approach.
Great.
Okay.
He says nothing, just looks towards Macro, and you can see it's like a half mask, so the beak holds the top of the nose, and you can still see the stubble on his chin, and he just says, "Good evening."
I'll look at Iron Blood, so I'll let him talk to the administrator.
We are here to speak to one of the prisoners.
Prisoner name?
Unknown. Female half-orc brought in relation to having been a purple tree recently.
He looks towards you. There's a brief moment, like a silence between you, and he goes, "Yes, I know who you're talking about." He stands after a long silence again, like awkward. He like seems to leave like at least 30 seconds between doing anything that you ask. Slides to the table, stands up rather mechanically, and then walks down one of the side corridors, stops by the door, unlocks it with a set of keys, turns towards you guys, and goes, "Follow me." He's back. And
I unplugged and replugged it.
just so you know, the Inquisitors all wear kind of like gold robes with blood red trimmings and wear breastplates over the top. The breastplates are rather plain, but always squeaky, shiny, clean. And as he walks down the corridor to your right and left, you hear screams of prisoners going, "Let us out! Let us out!" And one guy just walks up to the bars, spits to the ground in front of you guys as you walk past. The Inquisitor turns, clicks his fingers, and the guy goes, "Scar!" and falls back as if shot by something. And then he carries on walking down. You get the odd insults, people throwing stuff at you. You get, and then he passes by one of the other doors, takes a sharp turn, up a set of like 3 or 4 steps, undoes the door, opens up into a circular room, and adjoining these rooms is maybe about 10 cells in the circular room, and he points towards one in the far corner. Says,
I nod, go towards it.
"Business hours are shortly to end. You have..." He looks towards the arrow slit with a little bit of the night sky, and then he goes, 25 minutes, and then just leaves, closing the door behind him.
Alright. Just get on with it and head towards that cell.
Right. I'm going to quickly... So as you head towards the cell and look through, you see a half-orc sitting on her arse, knees up to her face, her hands on top of her head, as if she's put her head in between her legs, and you can hear a slight sobbing.
Good evening.
She looks up, and I have a picture.
Oh, nice.
She's kind of got like a scarification all across her face.
Adrian, what you could have been, mate. What you could have been.
What an orc.
I was trying to get you play this this character, but Liam just vetoed it.
Yep.
Very disappointing.
And as you look at her, she looks up at you, and she just goes, "Who are you?"
Well, I must apologize. I think I hit you in the leg.
You do look down at her leg, and she does have a nice long white scar.
Yes, I tried to take a sample of you, not knowing you were not a tree. I shared your form for a while after that. It was intriguing, to say the least. Also slightly frustrating. I imagine your ordeal was much the same.
You'll hear about the magic, aren't you?
Amongst other things, yes.
She says, "I don't know what's wrong with it."
Not necessarily what we're after. What did you witness while you were there?
She stands, walks over, and says, "Is it night?
It is.
I'll be dead soon."
Then do you have anything to lose by telling us?
I guess not. She turns towards the bars, puts her big hands against it. Well, you know, see, she's rather slim and lean for a half orc. She's not like a muscular half orc. She turns in, looks at you all through the bars. Some party you got in here?
Yes, indeed. We're trying to find out what happened. There's some some strange happenings in his city, and it doesn't sit right with us. Now, whatever information you can share would be most appreciated, and if there's anything we can do to prevent your death, I'm more than willing to try.
Alright. I'll tell you. And then she says, right, so I was hired. Well, I work for Lady Obsidian. Me, Haroth, and Omar. She told us to go to this warehouse to use the bag of holding and distill a load of these herbs and chemicals so that she could craft more stare and sell it. Next thing I know, we're being attacked by some hideous assassin. Yes? You following?
What did this assassin look like?
Pale-skinned, blue, had claws, managed to cut a nice cut across Haroth's chest.
Wearing a tabard, perhaps?
Yes, an eye. Blazoned on the front.
We've seen this.
Anyway, scuffle happens. You know, we knew we had 7 minutes to get in and out, that the Hound Guards patrol every 7 minutes. Anyway, I decide to muster up some of my abilities, some of my spells. Anyway, I fire forth what I have always done in my life, the Scorching Rays, that come to me so easily. But something's wrong with fire magic now. And as I fired it forth, there was an explosion of light. Lucky for me, it incinerated whatever it was. Just turned to ash right in front of me. But in the process, well, I turned into whatever it was. While I was there, I didn't really know I was a tree. I just couldn't move. I couldn't hear. I was just in a void.
See, that is worrying.
I've been trying to summon forth firebolts, and every time I do, I get this voice in the back of my head. It's like my magic is infected. Every time I try to draw upon fire.
What does the voice say?
You don't want to know. It's gobbledygook. It makes no sense.
Could you say it anyway? Are you capable of repeating it?
Something about a pony.
Anything else?
Yeah, an
Please be
elephant.
exact.
He spoke about an elephant. I haven't heard him in some hours. It fades after. If I keep using the magic, it gets stronger. And I feel like there's more chance these surges, these random effects, pour out of me.
I see.
And it saved my friends' asses, and I don't blame them for leaving me behind, not after I turned into that thing.
Yes, I understand. This is worrying indeed.
But I feel like whatever organization Lady Obsidian is pissed off is now after me, my friends, and possibly her. Why wouldn't they be after her?
What makes you think that they're after you? Simply because of the assassination? That could have just been business.
I think they had personal interest in the drugs. Lady Obsidian has been talking about moving up, being more than a majordomo. She's got ambitions. She says that there's this shadowed organization that gives her missions and her gold and tells her what to do. But now, I'm not so sure. I feel like we were sent on a suicide mission, or a mission that crosses them directly. And then she walks to the other side of the cell, punches the wall, and says, we just do what she says. You see, me, Horath, Omar, we just do what she says, and then we get into the trouble. But she's never really done this to us before. These chemicals, these drugs must be worth a lot if she's willing to risk our lives.
Perhaps this was not intentional. It is not yet known what her reasoning was, so let's not speculate. However, you mentioned that you expect another try in your life in here.
She shrugs and says, why not? Unless Haroth and Omar can get me out. There's no way Lady Obsidian's coming all the way over from Newtown to bail me out of the House of Answers. And anyway, she says, I've already been told by the Inquisitors that I am due for torture in the morning anyway.
Torture can be endured.
Either way, I'm fucked.
Fucked is better than dead, I would say.
Well, I'd rather die quickly tonight from one of those creatures' claws than be tortured slowly tomorrow over the period of 5 days and have my legs and arms and neck broken on the wheel just for the public to see. Or perhaps I'll be sprayed across the hippodrome, having Darioso rip out my innards and rip apart my face.
A noble death.
Fuck you.
Well, either way, what exactly have you been accused of?
Me? Stealing. Thievery of the highest order. I've attacked one of the House of Coins' warehouse. You know, it's technically thievery against the God King himself.
Don't they cut off a hand for that?
No, they don't cut off a hand, they cut off a head.
Hands are more for, like, you know, a loaf of bread, not
Yeah,
stealing from the
she
God
like,
King.
she goes, yes, like an apple, or a banana, or like a brick. I don't know, anything small. Now my friends are at large. It would do me a world of favour if you can just make sure they are okay. I heard the assassin said that Lady Obsidian would be dead today. How is she alive? If you know anything?
Status unknown.
I don't know who that is.
You're asking us to look after your friends. Where would we find them?
Oh, well, I know that they had a room in the Knife and Hound, but if that failed, they'd probably go into hiding in Hekar.
Right, yes, okay. Anywhere in particular in Hekar?
Yes, one of the orchards. It has a little bit of an underground labyrinth.
How would we find said labyrinth?
She
Or
leans
the
in to
orchard
see
you
if any...
speak of?
She leans out and goes, any Inquisitors out there?
None.
Look. Right. I'm trusting you with this. You don't seem like the Inquisitor type. You don't seem like your Blood Knights, Hound Guards. Come, before I tell you, what's your interest?
As described, one of my friends has a vested interest in some of the goings on, and well, we met with.
And my Discord crashed. Let's reload that. Sorry
Welcome
guys,
back,
my
Bill.
Discord crashed. My one crashed.
What's the last thing you heard?
It didn't even make a beeping noise. That like left the call. That was weird.
It was very strange, wasn't it?
Sorry, Liam. What was the last thing you heard?
Can't remember.
Okay, because you were asking about the interest. I'll just start from the start.
Yeah, what's your interest
So,
in that? Yeah.
Yes, one of us has a vested interest in some of the, well, somehow connected issues coming from this burglary of yours.
What do you mean? What do you mean?
We recently met with Lady Obsidian, and, well, it would be in our favor, let's say, if we were not on hostile terms with her. So if we can do her a favor through you, this will do well for us.
I see.
I'm not
What-
sure whether we can help you in any way, but we can try and do what you ask for your friends.
Okay, right. So, south of Hekar, there's a small bit of woodland. Right, on the southern edge where the cliff face looks over Quisitaton, you'll find it. It's hidden normally hidden beneath shrubbery and stuff, but if you just follow it along the cliff face, you'll find it. It's not that difficult to see. It looks like an old kind of wine cellar, and the house that it once belonged to is kind of ruined and stuff. They would have gone into hiding there. I mean, and they would probably have gone out purse pinching the day to pay for anything they needed for the night. Probably in the rich part near Quisitaton.
I see. Thank you. Question. What do I know about the policies of giving food and stuff to a prisoner? Is that punishable or is that okay?
As far as you know, that's okay.
Alright. And I'll look at Atlantic's.
Enjoy your
well,
squid.
the bottle of wine that we have.
Yep.
And I'm going to say, I don't think we're going to need this anymore. Agreed?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, and I'll just Like, take off the cloth and just hand her the bottle of wine.
She looks at you weirdly as it like comes through the bars. She captures it and goes, "Why are you doing this? I don't even know you."
Least I can do for someone in trouble.
Shit. Wow. Looks like I got myself some guardian angels.
Right, and with that, I'll just nod and then take off.
Alright, yeah, you just nod and take off, and she, you hear her guzzling as you guys leave. Is there anyone else want to ask anything from her?
No, I was going to ask her something, but if we're going to find her compatriots, I think we're probably better asking them instead. You know,
As the others leave, I'm gonna ask, just out of interest, should I stick with them? Because I don't want to end up in prison.
She looks down at you and goes, "Well, you know, you're on that side, and I'm on this side." And she drinks from the bottle, and she goes, "I think you're on the right side, dwarf."
If you say so.
Dwarf,
Yes.
you got any food?
I stretch my hand out and go to shake her hand.
Yeah, she kind of reaches in.
And I'm gonna cast Good Berry. And as I draw my hand away, she has a bunch of berries in her hand.
She looks at it and goes, "Oh, thank you." Begins eating them, and she goes, "Whoa!" Yeah, actually does heal her, so yeah, she feels great.
I wouldn't eat too many of them, you know. They come out worse than they come in.
She goes, "Well, I'm about to get tortured, so hopefully I shit on them."
Silver linings.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to leave.
Okay, so anyone else doing anything in the House of Answers, or are you leaving now?
Yeah, I'll eat a couple of good berries.
Yeah, I guess you're kind of hurt, Chester.
Yes.
Alright, so as you guys are leaving and you exit the House of Answers, someone walks up to Macro. He's in studded greasy leather, has a what looks like a greatsword on his back, bald head, missing eye, has a patch over it, and he goes, "Arr, you Macro?"
what race is he?
Human.
Aye,
Pale. He's definitely a Million Islander.
Must be Ralph, I think. Gra.
Yarr, come on, Ralph's behest.
He was quicker than what he said he was going to be. No one's expecting to hear from him until tomorrow.
Well, he's a quick man and he gets the job done. Yeah. Anyway, and he slams a scroll
yeah, we're going
into
that
your
way
hand.
now anyway.
He slams a scroll into your hand and says, "Now he says to tell you that you owe him a favor. You are to deal with Wave Cleaver. You get that? Wave Cleaver.
Wave Cleaver.
No, repeat after me. Wave Cleaver.
Cleaver.
Yeah, you got it. Yarr.
Right. So, by deal. Right. Okay. Yeah. Is that the name of the ship, or is that?
No, his name is George Wave Cleaver.
George Wave Cleaver, and that's who we need to go and. Yeah. So where does Ralph wants us to meet up with him?
He doesn't want you to meet up with him at all, Yarr. He just wants you to deal with George.
He crafty bastard. He definitely said he was going to come and fucking.
Well, he might have back then, but he doesn't now.
And then by deal with, he means on a permanent basis then.
Mm-hmm. Goes, "George Wave Cleaver, you'll find him in his vessel down near the common docks."
What about his men?
He has Winter Touch, half-elf, mage of quite renown, and I believe his quartermaster is Inglepar.
Yeah, but what are we doing with them?
Well, he wants his gold back. You don't necessarily have to cut the man's testicles off, Yar, but you can do whatever you want to get the money.
Alright, fair enough then.
Ha 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 ha! Yar, you have a good evening.
Did he mention how much gold it was exactly?
He just said all of it.
Oh, that's very fucking helpful. It's gonna be a pisser when we get in there and they've spent all of it, the thick fuck. Alright then, in a bit.
And that's when the pirate looks at you and goes, "Pleasant evenings," and then leaves.
That was a very polite pirate.
They tend to be fair. Especially the ones that do the liaison. Come on, let's go.
Alright, and as you exit the House of Answers, you've got the information by blah 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 by Ralph. Macro, are you opening it?
Yes. Yeah, I can read that whilst we're on the way, at least, anyway.
Right.
Yeah.
It says on the letter that contraptions like the ones you are looking for are the purview of Guandia.
So this is the go-to man for these fancy contraptions in the black markets.
Yeah, one moment. I've got the location in. There you go.
So we've got Guandia. I'll relay this name to Lantix. Guandia, have you ever heard of that?
Lantix, you have heard of Guandia, a particular elf who was expelled from the university for explosive experimentation in alchemy.
Yes, I am aware of the character.
It seems like this is probably the fellow that's been selling these magical gauntlets.
Not the normal purview, but certainly on the right jest of things.
Right. But to be fair, it was kind of a wasted favour, because it sounds like we know where our number 1 and 2 priorities lie, at least anyway. I guess we could sort him out afterwards, at least anyway.
Yes, we must get to Heka, but it is late. Perhaps we should rest and head there first light.
Okay.
Agree.
Alright then, yeah, I guess I could do with some food.
Right, so you all head back to your respective establishments, and I'm assuming Gwendef and Chester head to an inn of sorts?
You can stay at mine. Actually, no, you definitely better not be staying at mine. You'd be fucking itching like fuck.
Also, I'm pretty sure that with the mouth on Chester, McGrath shouldn't have.
Oh, it just means if I murder him, I've got an easier place to dump his body. People don't look twice at it at Shadow.
To the finest inn.
Corpse on the curb.
Alright, to the finest inn.
I don't sell books. I'm not made of money.
Liam, while you continue on, could I have the name of the female half-orc? I did not write it down.
Oh, Lushka.
Rushka. Okay,
Lushka.
thanks.
Sorry, I thought I mentioned that.
Yeah, you probably did.
My bad.
Shall we meet at the bridge north of the Quisitatum first light, just after?
Do you know where that is, Chester?
Why, yes, I do. Yes, I'll lead you there.
I think that won't be a problem then.
Alright. Where was this cliff face? Where the house was again?
Just in case, and I'll give Gwen the directions.
Yeah, it's like a Hekha. It's right the town to your right as you entered Chester and Gwendef.
Yes, that's the one. That's the one. That's exactly where I would have led us. Aha.
I'll go to Lantix. Well, save you coming all the way then. Why don't we just meet you at the actual cliffs? See if you're coming back on yourself at least anyway.
What?
We're meeting at the cliffs, aren't we? To the northwest of Quiz.
Well, I did suggest to meet at the bridge, but
You're actually saying you're coming from the university, aren't you?
I will stay at the university, yes.
You're coming past the cliffs to get to the bridge.
McGrath, have you often said to encounter people on a cliff face? I feel like a bridge is a much better meeting point. At least we will know what we mean when we say the bridge. When we say the cliffs, it's miles.
That makes sense. Fair enough then. We'll meet at the bridge then. First light then, yeah?
Thank you, young Master Ironblood.
Alright, so all of you, deign to meet at this bridge the next day with, as the night goes by, 3 more days left till Ascension Day. And that's where we end today's session. All of you gain a point of inspiration.
Nice.
Huzzah.
Did we gain one last session?
Yes, you should have.
I'm on 2. So...
Right, so that's the end of today's session. Alright, good stuff, guys.
Was good.
And we will be back next Thursday, of course.
Ciao, ciao.